Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox were down 5-0 after 2 innings, and the American League's worst offense had no chance after that in an 8-1 loss to Atlanta yesterday. Brian Bayo didn't have an opener pitch in front of him for this one, and he allowed 7 runs and 8 hits while striking out 1 hitter over 5 innings. The Sox are averaging just over 3.5 runs a game for the season. They'll pitch Sonny Gray in Kansas City tonight. In basketball news, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was voted the NBA's MVP for the second straight year last night. The Celtics' Jaylen Brown finished 6th in the balloting. Last night, Cleveland blew out the Pistons in Detroit 125-94 in Game 7. They are through to the Eastern Conference Finals. Donovan Mitchell scored 26 points. The Cavaliers visit the Knicks for Game 1 tomorrow night. San Antonio will visit Oklahoma City and SGA for Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals this evening. And in golf, Aaron Rai made 4 birdies on the back nine to pull away from the pack. He won the PGA Championship by 3 shots over John Rahm. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured, not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallick on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5.
Fingerman, heard about you.
Yeah.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides,
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
All right. Cool. All right.
yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. All right, man. I gotta let you go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios. That's right, Joseph. I will be doing the show with you on Memorial Day.
I need another whiff.
That's true. As I collect days to use later in the summer. When you got to take 2 weeks off for Christmas, as now is the status quo, with Christmas being the week before the last week of the year, you gotta move some things around, and that is the case.
I haven't even looked. You are very much into planning this out ahead of time.
You got to, or you end up in dire straits.
Yeah. Let me take a look here.
The problem is with working holidays is that on the website they don't track the amount of holiday time that you've accrued from working holidays. So you got to go to gym.
Yes.
And then he's
got the spreadsheet. Yep.
You got to knock it out that way.
All right. So the mistake I made last year was not taking off. What was it? January 2nd was a Friday, I believe.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I'll do a soft launch. I'll come back in after taking some time off for the holidays and work that Friday and not burn a vacation day. Horrible mistake. Nobody was here. Nobody was going to work. Like nothing. It felt like, you're broadcasting during the apocalypse. Now, Christmas is on a Friday this year, and that means New Year's Day is on a Friday. Yeah, I think I'm going to use up more of my days in the summer and not take those full 2 weeks. Like, do Do you really need to be off? Now, Fred, you've got travel situations and all that stuff. I don't think we're going anywhere. But you really need to be off like Monday the 21st and the 22nd and the 23rd. Christmas Eve isn't even until Thursday. Like, that seems like if I'm home, we're not going anywhere. Like, what am I doing? That's a lot of.
I agree with you. If you're home and you're not doing anything, because that's what Memorial Day, I'm not doing anything. So I'm coming in. The thing is that my kids are much better at my parents' house pre-Christmas than they are post-Christmas because there is that anticipation of Christmas.
They're still being on their best behavior for Santa.
Of course.
It's almost like
elf on a shelf.
I think that behavior does still resonate. It's obviously not for the same reasons, but they get excited for Christmas still, so they will like deal with like not having a lot to do and like watching a Christmas movie in the theater room at night rather than, and then after Christmas, like all hell breaks loose. So I'll probably leave the Saturday before Christmas and then leave like the Monday or Sunday. It's Monday because it's the football. The Monday after Christmas. That's probably what I'll do. I'll spend 9 days down there, which there is fine. Here is different when they're here. But down there's plenty of room. And it's essentially our house, too. So that right there is between, you said that, so that's 1, 2, we don't get Christmas Eve off, so that's 8 days vacation right there. Kaboom.
That's a long visit. That's 10 days, Fred. 19th to the 28th. Depending on when you leave. I'd leave early on the 28th is all I can tell you.
Well, I'm going to leave. Maybe I'll leave the 21st. Yeah, maybe I'll leave the 21st.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
Travel will be better.
Okay.
Because, everyone's going to be getting out of town.
The weekend before Christmas.
That 19th, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, I'm not leaving the 19th. No, I'm not doing that.
No.
Oh, I thought you said the Saturday before Christmas. Okay.
Oh, maybe I did. Okay,
Yeah.
I would leave the 20. Maybe I'll leave the 21st.
Okay. All right, I like that better for you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right,
So
good.
the 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Now,
Okay.
John,
Yes.
will you be driving to Philadelphia for Christmas?
I'm sure we are, yes. I think we're leaving, but we're not leaving until the 22nd, I think we're
Fourth?
leaving. The 22nd, driving down, because Tuesday would be easier.
You've already decided to drive.
Yes, believe it or not. We were going to drive. I was in Philadelphia this last weekend. We were going to take the train. I suggested the train. So we looked online. Train tickets were insanely expensive. Flights were worse to go to Philadelphia when we looked 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I don't. So we had to drive this time. But yes, we had discussed driving already down for Christmas. So going to London this summer, so that's good.
Well, yeah, it's all the same. That's right. One
gonna
makes up for
drive.
the other.
Well, I'm glad you're not driving to London. Why are you going to London?
Hopefully to see Wimbledon for a day. Take the kids; they've never been to London, so I figured it'd be a nice experience for them.
Can't hide money with this one.
Well, Wimbledon.
France,
I've
London.
looked into Wimbledon before. Mm-hmm. Very expensive.
Yes. Well, right now, our plan, because we could not get tickets online or through any other avenue, is to stand in line early one day for grounds passes. Get there early, stand in line for grounds passes, and try and do that. We were told that the second Monday is the time to go because all the courts are in action that day. So,
if I were spending the money on a trip to London,
yes,
with the airfare and the hotel, doing 2 rooms.
Yes.
Okay, good
2
for
rooms.
you.
Once again, money, lots of it.
I know, apparently. Yeah. I think I'd spring for the tickets. How much are they?
They were like €600 for one person. When I looked online, it was insane the amount of money you would have to spend to get tickets for a seat on one of those courts.
I don't know. Just the idea of like getting up early and then going and standing. How long is that line that you guys stand?
It's going to be very long.
And you're not guaranteed tickets.
You're not.
No. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have.
It's
I don't have
better than €2,400 for one day.
I don't have Wallick money, so I can't.
Yeah.
I can't really.
It's dual income. Did you drive down to Philadelphia this last weekend?
Yes, I did.
Well, so you're accruing all this money from saving on airfare.
Yes, that's right.
So you should use that and put it towards. You should budget. Your wife is a CPA, correct?
An actuary, close enough. Yes.
All right. We're in the weeds.
Trust me.
All right.
I
So
understand.
something involving the money and
Yes,
things of that.
that's right.
She's an accountant.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of.
I'm sure. Well, she's not a financial advisor.
No.
So she's
a pension actuary, and I've known my wife 20 years, and I still can't adequately describe it, so let's just leave it there.
Are you saving $2,500 between not flying to Philadelphia this past time and at Christmas?
and spring break. So
Right.
that's 3 times.
You've saved $5,000 by driving those three
So why not keep it in the plus instead of coming out even?
Spend half of it and get 4 tickets to Wimbledon ahead of time, and not have to worry about standing in line like a mook,
Like a what?
like a jabroni.
I see. No, I'm not spending $600, especially my kids take or leave Wimbledon. They're like, okay, let's go.
Tell them to
Then leave
stay in
them
the
at home.
hotel. Yes.
No. It's a family trip. I'm not leaving them in the hotel
Drag
room.
them to something they don't want to do and spend $1,200 to do it.
It's one of those experiences they need to go through. They need to go to Wimbledon. They needed to go to Paris. They didn't enjoy every second of the time we were in Paris. They like seeing their aunt and cousins out in Luxembourg, but they could take or leave Paris. But it's one of those things that kids need to experience if it's possible.
I dragged
Yes,
mine.
they need to go to Wimbledon.
I dragged mine to St. Andrews. Do you know how much the kids' passes were for the practice round that we went to?
No.
0.
Really?
Free.
Oh.
That's what you drag your kids to.
That's
it
because
costs
golf
nothing.
is so inclusive. That's the that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is it's real inclusive vibe. All right, Jonathan. Well, it sounds like you failed another trip. That you're going to London to go to Wimbledon, and you can't even do that
The
right.
driving back yesterday was a fail. That's for sure. Not good.
Oh, I find that difficult to believe, John.
Not
Things didn't
good.
go well.
Yeah.
No, I find that difficult to believe.
So we went and saw the Devil Wears Prada 2 over
I
the
saw
weekend.
the Devil Wears Prada
how
2
was
as
that
well.
experience?
Marred by the fact that I told Marcy ahead of time that Fred saw the first one and didn't understand what the big deal was with the boss. And I think it just threw her off mentally, and she wasn't able to enjoy the sequel, much less the rest of the weekend, trying to figure out in her head how your head works.
I honestly didn't think that the boss did anything that bad.
Now, in the second one, she was fine. I mean, she had softened.
Well, there wasn't
very
really a
much
lot
so.
to the second one other than look at where we are.
Yeah, the spoiler alert, not a lot to the second one, the end.
It's not an unpleasant film.
No, it's just
it's
kind of there.
It didn't need to be made.
Well, yeah, dude, it's like this massive. I mean, at the movie theater by me, it's playing legitimately 12 times a day, 15 times a day.
There was nothing that furthered the story to the point where we're like, I can see why they did this.
Well, the first Devil Wears Prada was a woman that worked at Vogue and was writing about Anna Wintour, the editor of Vogue. So she writes that, and it's this massive sensation, and it becomes a hit film. I have a feeling the publishing company said, write another. And then she didn't have any more stories because The Devil Wears Prada ends with her leaving Vogue.
right.
So then she had to invent a story of which she starts working at Vogue again. And that didn't ever happen in real life.
Yeah.
So you can't be as biting. So I have a feeling it wasn't nearly as good a book. I'm assuming there was a book. There had to have been, right? She had to have written a sequel to that. And it's not worth looking up. Yes. And I think in fairness to the studio, they realized there was not much of a story. So they said, we'll put this in Milan. And we'll have beautiful, areas of Milan. We'll make it a kind of unnecessary tip of the cap to the fashion industry.
I loved all the cameos of the fashion people. I thought that was
You recognized all of them, did you?
I didn't catch them. I didn't even know they were doing that.
the woman who looks like some kind of like a lion gargoyle. She's got to be some kind of
That's
a
a
fashion.
Versace, I would imagine.
I would think so too. But let me tell you something, Fred. And I can say this now because A, she doesn't listen, and B, if she does, not at this hour. That Anne Hathaway. Always been a fan, but I am fully all in, all chips pushed to the center of the table. Now, part of the problem this causes at home, she's a brunette. And Marcy has accurately identified me as someone who has a thing for brunettes. She, of course, blonde her whole life.
Yes.
What is it with you and the brunettes? Well, it's different from what I have, number one.
Right,
of course, right.
That's like
Yes.
that's number one. But it's that whole like Jennifer Connelly vibe. Who's the woman from Groundhog Day?
Oh, jeez, I know who you're talking about.
Andy McDowell?
can't think-
Andy McDowell.
Thank you.
Oh, when she had her fastball in St. Elmo's Fire. Oh, that long brunette hair, Anne Hathaway. Yep, absolutely.
So I went to the Devil Wears Prada with someone who asked me if I found Anne Hathaway attractive, and I said not really, and that was a big bone of contention.
Oh, is the person brunette?
No.
Who asked you? Oh,
What? I don't understand why.
I don't know.
Someone would
like
be
all
offended.
brunettes just have to. That's the only feature of people
But
that men are attracted
for women.
to.
No, for women, it's all about hair color,
Yeah,
and if you like one,
they're
versus
they're
the
well
other.
off on that.
What a
That is-
bizarre answer. No, someone be put off by the fact that you don't like Anne Hathaway.
They weren't put off like you're an a-hole. They were just like it like they became like enamored or not infatuated or enamored. Those are just the way they felt about me. They became like kind of obsessed with why.
Okay.
And I'm like, you have to understand, I don't find her unattractive. You asked her, this is that like Office about the lady from the boxing movie. When they're arguing about Jennifer, the Clint Eastwood boxing movie with the female boxer.
Hillary Swank.
When they were arguing about Hillary Swank.
Yeah.
$1 Million Baby.
Yeah, I mean, this is an
Like
old
her,
thing,
too.
but I'm like, you have to understand, like, obviously she's like an attractive woman. You asked if I thought she was hot. When you say hot during a movie, you're talking about like, you know, incredibly gorgeous beyond, you know, like this stunning beauty that would be overwhelming, you know, like the Victoria Silverstead that Hardy and I both met.
Yeah, that's the gold standard.
But if it's an industry full of famous people that are famous for their beauty for pretty much, and then you're going, do you think they're hot? I mean, the standard is like if Anne Hathaway was here, I'm sure I would go like, wow, she's the prettiest woman here. But or if she was in Boston, I'd probably give her everything I had because, I mean, in Boston, it would be overwhelming how good looking she was.
I've told you this before, Fred. The Victoria Silvstedt thing, that's the only time I've really gotten in trouble with my wife, who was at the time just my girlfriend or fiance, whatever it was, because she heard me on the air interviewing Victoria Silvstedt. She was at one of the UFC weigh-ins, and she could tell I wasn't joking around, and I was really that infatuated with her, and I was saying things like, do you need immigration status of some kind? Do you need citizenship? I will marry you. We can do it today. This is Las Vegas. We can go down to a chapel. You know, let's get this done because you are the most beautiful creature I've ever seen walking this earth. What do I need to do to be with you for the rest of my life? I'm willing to make the commitment right now.
Did she move away quickly?
No, she was very flattered, and I was very charming. But yeah, when Marcy heard that, she's like, "What was that?" I'm like, "What? I love her. I don't know. I can't help who."
She's uncomfortably beautiful.
Yeah.
That's sort of odd that she would be jealous about that. Like she wouldn't go, "Oh, you were talking to someone who is, you know, the Playmate of the Year, that's like transcended Playboy because of her beauty. One of the like handful, legitimately.
I think because she had never heard me like gush over someone like that before. Because we had like, hot girls on all the time in Vegas.
Yes,
and
but this is different. But again, I'm making the point that this is so. There's 12 women that are centerfolds in Playboy every year. One's Playmate of the Year. Fine. So out of that, 1 in 20. So every 20 years, one of them, Anna Nicole Smith, Pamela Anderson, and Victoria Silverstead, become like iconic, and you happen to be in the presence of one of them. So say every 10 years. So you, in the presence of one of the 10 most beautiful, 3 most beautiful women that have been in Playboy over the course of 30 years, which is like the American male standard of beauty at the time. And she somehow got jealous as if that there was no reasoning for this, and that you somehow were like not appreciative of her because she's not one of the 3 hottest girls that was ever in Playboy.
I think it was the emotion, and it was the marriage proposal. It was probably at a point where I had not yet proposed marriage, and I
can see how that might be a problem.
I don't know. It's like if you heard her like interviewing Brad Pitt, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're so good looking," would you have been like, "What's going on?" No, you would have been like, "Wow."
Well, she
Brad
wouldn't
Pitt's
say
really
that,
good.
Fred.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're probably right. I was putting it in my own perspective.
Yeah.
If I heard someone I was interested in interviewing Brad Pitt, and they were doing like an interview for people to hear, and they were like, "Oh wow, you're really good looking," I would think, well, that's a fact. People find Brad Pitt to be the.
Did you ever date someone in the media?
Yeah. Yeah. But like someone who interviewed people.
Yeah, someone who was like on TV or on the radio or anything like that, or a YouTuber, an influencer.
Well, yeah.
What about you ever date a podcaster?
I've dated influencers. I've interviewed. I've dated. No, she just was in magazines. I've dated women that worked for magazines. I have not dated anyone that was on the radio or on television. No, I have not. Dated. I've gone out with women that were on television.
Right.
But I've never been in a relationship that was long term with anyone that was on television. I've been in a couple of relatively short relationships with women that have been on television.
Right.
Or were on television. But Johnny knows.
Like Jeopardy contestants?
No, they were. They hosted college quiz shows. No, did you ever see
Fear Factor Extreme?
Do you ever see Love on the Spectrum?
Oh.
No, the host.
Oh, okay. All right.
Where were you going with that? No, what I do is I fish in Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Is that with blind people, or is that just you can't see?
I
say it's for blind people. I'm making a self-effacing joke with Love is Blind.
Yes,
Let's say they were blind.
I don't know.
I'm saying it could only date someone who's blind because I'm ugly. That's what I was trying to get at there.
I gotcha.
It was self-effacing.
Yes.
Nothing against blind people. All right. Very good. We'll be back in just a moment. That wasn't a bad joke. The way I explained it, I would think if I was listening to that whole thing was kind of funny. Bad placement. Argue. Unless that's like home run. No, I disagree with that.
Nailed it.
I rarely disagree with the placement of that, and I'll have to say that I disagree with the placement of that. Love on the Spectrum was interesting, and then Love is Blind. And then turning it into I'm not trying to offend blind people. I'll stick with. Not my worst. All right. When we come back, the Red Sox have played. Now you know who's in the NBA conference finals. It's all been said and done. And we'll have that for you in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Save on our...
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what happened yesterday?
Red Sox playing in Atlanta, taking on the Braves. Brian Bayo on the mound. First inning, kaboom.
High fly ball, left field deep. He smoked that. Duran turns and see you later.
Oh, I don't like that.
Riley with his 7th of the year, a 3-run homer to put the Braves in front right away in the first inning.
What?
Don't smoke
What are you
it.
wagging your finger at, John?
It's unusual for Bayo to actually be pitching the first inning, you'll remember.
Well, he's had openers.
They had openers the last two starts, not two starts, the last two outings, and was very, very good. But you put him in the first inning, and all of a sudden he forgets how to pitch. That seems to me to be a problem.
By the way, what happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
But, hell, he has a 7 ERA for the year, so what do I know?
Yeah, and look.
Don't trade him for Trout.
No.
3-run homer in the first, and then,
John didn't want to trade him.
You didn't
No,
want-
I didn't. Not for Trout. No, I did not.
Last week you said that?
Yeah.
Yes. Last week, Duran and Bayo for Trout. Trout has 4 years. Do you really want to go through this? Trout has 4 years left on his contract. He's injured a lot. He's 34. No, I did not want to do that. It didn't make a lot of sense.
But you specifically didn't want to trade Bayo.
Yes, I said it would be very tough on me to give up on young pitching. Now, with hindsight, after yesterday, that does not look like a very good take.
John's baseball takes grounded day to day.
But I'm going to stick with it for now.
I must have zoned out when you were the can't move Brian Bayo.
I
stance
did.
last
I said
week.
I hate to
Holy
give up
crap.
on young pitching, and Jesus God.
Okay.
All right. He had looked really good the two previous outings when I said that.
Well, he looked good in the second inning when he only gave up 2 more runs. It wasn't a really didn't have another big hit that he allowed until the fourth.
And Mike Yastrzemski with a high fly to the corner, drifting back Abreu, turning around, and that ball is gone. Now he's having himself another big day against the Red Sox. His second home run of the year, a solo drive to start the inning, and it is 6-0.
He only gave up the 2 homers.
Maybe you take
only 7 runs in 5 innings.
I don't know what your problem is.
His ERA was 7. It was around 7 to begin with.
Yes.
Not a big deal.
John's taking a solo drive this Christmas down to his in-laws' house. Just like he did.
That's more than likely, yes.
Yeah, because the kids are going to go before him.
Yeah.
Kids are going to fly. They've been saving up their lawn mowing money. We're not doing this again. Red Sox would get on the board.
We'll line that one to right field. That's going to settle down in fair ground and bounce to the corner.
Hell yeah.
Here comes Connor Wong. They're going to wave him in, trying to score. Here's the throw to the plate. It's late. And the Red Sox, at the very least, break up the shutout. Sogard with a day saver. RBI double to make it 8-1.
Yeah, that was at the top of the 9th inning when it was 8-0. Why are you playing that?
Hell yeah.
It's a day saver.
Okay. Yeah.
You save the day. They would have been shut out and humiliated.
Oh, my God.
That's a big run for, the team.
That's one. Yep.
And that would be all they would get.
Well, that seems to be a kind of and non-sarcastically, that seems to be kind of a pattern. 1 run.
Yeah.
2 runs. 3 runs. Even in wins, 3 runs. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You can't ask for too many more than 3 runs.
They've played 47 games now, and I think 30 of those games they've scored 3 or less.
Yeah, that's not good for professional baseball.
No.
So 5 runs in the 3 games set with the Phillies, 6 runs scored against the Braves. They lose both series 2-1, and Brian Bayo stating the obvious after the game yesterday.
Yeah, felt good physically. Just I wasn't able to control the strike zone or throw strikes.
Yeah.
Oh, physically, though, you felt great.
Can't throw strikes.
Well, the thing is that if you're him, you got to feel kind of good about it because you didn't, no matter what you did, you were going to lose. Or you certainly weren't going to get the win.
It's true.
Unless you threw like a perfect game, there was no way you were going to get, there's no way you were going to win that game. So might as well get it out of your system this game.
How about this? The offense is so bad. And this is a stat from Tyler Milliken, who just left this radio station for other opportunities. But Tyler Milliken had a stat yesterday. The Red Sox have been down by 3 runs or more 18 times this season. Want to guess how many wins they have after
None.
falling behind by 3?
None.
That would be correct. They have yet to win a game when they've fallen behind by 3 runs or more.
Well, I'm looking at the lineup they trotted out yesterday. I find that very difficult to believe.
Right. Yep.
Real murderers row.
Well, again, it's actually a good thing that Trevor Story is now on the injured list for the next couple of months because Sogard is an upgrade offensively. It's just for a roster spot, a spot in the lineup, he's an upgrade. But Duran, Story, and Caleb Durbin are 3 of the worst 10 hitters in Major League Baseball.
Duran's another guy that John didn't want to give up on for Mike Trout, by the way, last week.
I emphasized Bayo over Duran. Duran, I'm fine with letting go. That's fine. He's 30. That's fine.
There's an odd, yes, he is 30 and not very good.
No.
But he had a good year 2 years ago.
Where were you last summer when we were talking about trading Duran every other day? Were you on board then?
Yes. We had talked about the surplus of outfielders and Duran, who is extremely awkward in left, and that's the only place he can play because Rafael is a Gold Glove in center. Yes, I was on board with trading Duran at that point.
I don't care if Duran was a Gold Glove left fielder. He can't hit.
No.
Duran has got some kind of holdover people around here. And a team that everyone craps on constantly, Duran is kind of...
He's the off-limits guy.
Yeah, he kind of has made himself someone that's beyond reproach. He's not very good. He's become this, just for the Red Sox, he's become this like untradeable commodity, which is interesting. Considering you've turned your team over to all... I understand Anthony's hurt, but this is the plan. And Anthony, if he could throw the ball, which he seems to have rectified a little bit, is supposed to be a 5-tool kid.
He's a decent outfielder, yes.
Yes. So but he was supposed to be 5 tools, correct?
Yeah,
He was supposed to be like usually the kids that are considered prodigies at 21 are usually 5-tool kids. So I would imagine he is, and so then you put him in the outfield, which means you don't need Duran. And you could have gotten something for Duran at the trade deadline last year, but you were too busy getting Dusty May. That was your big acquisition at the trade deadline.
It is remarkable how bad this GM is.
But you also got Hicks. You got him, and then you got some jabroni that you traded for May.
Harrison. You got Kyle Harrison, who you traded for Caleb Durbin, who is the worst hitter in Major League Baseball at this moment.
Yeah, he's not a very good GM, and that is a fact. Because anything that they've done that has been a positive outside of trading for Sonny Gray, which I could have done, or trading for what's his face, the lefty, I could have done that too.
Matz?
No. This offseason, or signing. I apologize.
Okay.
Signing Ranger Suarez.
Yes.
I apologize. Not trading. Signing Ranger Suarez. I could have done that too. So you understand what I'm saying? These are not like incredible moves. Everything he's done has been terrible. He's assembled a lineup that's terrible.
By the way, Kyle Harrison, the guy they traded, 4-1 with an ERA of just over 2 in Milwaukee this season.
He's also playing in Milwaukee, where I think things would go a little bit better during the regular season. We'll see.
No, once they get to the playoffs, different ball game.
Well, that's when talent usually rises to the top.
Yes.
And they're in fairness, it's a little difficult to ask Milwaukee to compete against, I don't know, Los Angeles. It's a little difficult to ask them to go and, it's one thing to win the Central.
Yeah.
Which I'm not positive they will this year because the Cubs decided that they want to spend money again, so we'll see.
Red Sox open up 3-game set in Kansas City tonight. Sonny Gray to the mound opposite Julio Lugo. Oh,
well, the Cardinals took 2 or 3 from Kansas City.
I thought he was retired.
Me too.
Well, he passed away.
The Cardinals have just body blowed the Royals 2 out of 3. So you're getting a nice seasoned Royals team returning home.
The Royals might sweep this series. They'll take 2 out of 3. One of those two. The Red Sox can't score more than 1 or 2 runs a game.
So the people in St. Louis were very no one was going to games because they sucked, and then now they've been like okay, but they had this college team that was in town for a series come to the game Friday night, and they stuck them in left field or right field,
yeah.
And they all took their shirts off. and like made all this noise. So the next game, a bunch of people bought tickets in the right field stands, and they all took their shirts off. And like, because the manager of the Cardinals bought them all tickets for the series. He bought the kids all tickets. So now it's a whole thing where they're like very loud and boisterous, and they do soccer chants and they take their shirts off. But it's almost entirely men. Because the section, it's really weird because the section is, I would say, 99.9% men. And it's the whole right field, a whole section of right field. So it's like, hundreds and hundreds of seats. And it's all dudes with their shirts off. I just don't know how they orchestrated it that no women would be in there.
No.
Because I kept going, where are the cans?
Right.
Sure.
And how do you justify arresting a woman for taking her shirt off if a bunch of men have their shirts off?
Nipples are nipples.
And they're for making milk, which was told to me at one appearance when I had women take their shirts off. There was a band with a female singer, and she said, breasts are for milk, which I just found delightful.
Yeah.
I
She
couldn't
was
stop
fun.
laughing.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't want to be a part of my shenanigans. All right, we'll be back.
By the way, did you know Julio Lugo, as Adam 12 referenced, died?
I did not.
I did not.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
2021.
Yeah.
Now, in 2015, he was arrested in the Dominican Republic for kidnapping a couple and holding them at gunpoint.
That seems problematic.
He claimed that an architect had stolen money that Lugo had provided to finance a tourism-related development.
No, that's a Brady bunch.
With the architect?
Yeah, you remember the one where they go to Kings Park or whatever, the island, the amusement park, and Mike has to kidnap the couple because they lost their plans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those charges were dropped, but then Lugo sadly passed away of a heart attack in 2021, the day before his 46th birthday.
I wonder if he did cocaine. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sport.
We are Toucher and Hardy, there is a big-time golf event happening coming up here in just a matter of days.
That's right. The on sale for the Who's Your Caddy Golf Classic is Wednesday at 10 a.m. 985thesportshub.com/golf to register your team. Brook Meadow Country Club, Canton, Monday, June 8th. Zoe and Beetle are broadcasting live. Your foursome for $985 will get you 4 players, 18 holes, cart, gift bag, post-round lunch. We've got great prizes in both the live auction and the silent auction. All the proceeds are benefiting Special Olympics Massachusetts. Plus, we need a fourth. We need a fourth for this show. You can join me, Wallick, and Fred and be our fourth on the golf course. You can bid on the same spot in the Felger Maz and Jim Murray group. That bidding also opens at 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning. 985thesportshub.com/golf for details. Thank you to our friends at Catches Law, the Boston Bruins Foundation, Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, FootJoy, Yale Appliance, Pinned Golf, and Golfers Warehouse.
All right, Hardy, and now
Have
we
you
know.
been practicing?
I have not hit a golf ball. Now, are we?
That's great.
Well, I know. I really should get on that. Is there a? Do we know who's in the conference finals now?
Yes,
in the NBA?
yes. Game 7 last night in Detroit in a series where Cleveland had not managed a road win in this postseason until Game 5 against Detroit. And it looked like they were going to run away with it. Then Detroit got themselves a road win in Cleveland, forcing the Game 7 last night. Back at home, what are the odds? Cleveland going to be able to pull off a second road win in the postseason in a Game 7 against the top-seeded Pistons?
Mitchell to the half-court line. Donovan unloads. Baked it in! He baked it in to close out the quarter. Donovan Mitchell from half court. How about that? 47 feet away.
Yeah, and that was your ball game. So I went to bed at halftime, and it was a good thing that I did because the Cavaliers would end up extending their lead to as much as 35 in this game. Pistons absolutely useless on offense. Looked a lot like the Celtics, trying to move the ball around, not getting any good looks, missing all kinds of shots. And they are all done. So now it is the Cleveland Cavaliers who will face the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, they weren't good at shooting.
No.
That was a problem.
That's a problem,
for them.
yeah.
Very bad.
Very bad from anywhere. From the free throw line, from the field, from three-point, everywhere. And they didn't play very good defense.
But before we talk about anything else, Fred, we have to talk about what happened yesterday where John Wallick was on Friday witnessing the greatness for himself. Aaron Rai trying to become the first Englishman to win the PGA Championship in over 100 years. Back to when it was.
It's been gnawing at me.
Well, the inaugural and the second PGA Championships were both won by an English player, but back then it was match play. In the stroke play era for over 100 years, no English-born player had won the PGA Championship. Aaron Rai, with a 2-stroke lead, coming down the back stretch, the last par 3 of the tournament, he finds himself some 70 feet away with a birdie putt.
Aaron Rai has just hit a beautiful birdie putt on 17, and he drains it from 50 feet. Aaron Rai is unstoppable.
Well, it's more than 50.
Yeah.
He is 9 under par.
Shush.
It wasn't 50.
68 feet. In
Shush.
fact.
Thank you. That was the absolute coffin nail for anyone who was chasing, including the likes of John Rahm, that Smalley kid who looked like maybe he had something going, but managed to double bogey earlier in the round and kind of played himself out of contention. Rory McIlroy, too little, too late, along with Patrick Reed. Aaron Rai, not only winning the tournament, but winning his first major championship, the 2-gloved bandit, wearing those FootJoy all-weathers all seasons. Doesn't matter. Get both those gloves on my hand. Unless he's in a bunker, then he only wears one.
I fear how fame is going to affect him.
You know what, Fred? He, as was described endlessly by Jim Nantz when they were filling a lot of time, There's two groups left on the course after Rye finished his round.
Right.
And, short of one of these guys getting a hole-in-one on 17 and then eagling 18.
Rahm was already done, too. He was the next closest guy, and he was already finished before Rye, correct?
No.
He wasn't.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm wrong.
No.
Okay.
No. There were two groups left on the course. They had a lot of time to kill, and Nance was talking a lot about how Aaron Rye, one of the most well-liked guys on the tour. Ask any player, any caddy, any clubhouse attendant. They all say, salt of the earth, this Aaron Rye.
Not for long.
Special player.
I think that it's going to...
Special, but more importantly, special person.
I mean, how many people have we seen after they win the PGA get put into this, crazy media frenzy and they get in over their head? It's that... I mean, how many of them have OD'd and died, within months of winning the PGA? It's like the same thing that happens to people that win the lottery. A lot of negative befalls them.
Well, you
pray for him.
First of all, you can look no further than what's his name, John Daly. That was his big breakthrough win. I think he won the PGA before he won the Open Championship.
And that's why he became famous, too, was just winning the PGA.
But the cautionary tales of other PGA Championship winners from the last 25 years, Rich Beam, Shawn Michael.
R.I.P.
McKeel.
Yang Yong-un.
What?
Apparently.
What year was that?
2009.
Well, he took over, and now he's the head of North Korea.
Jimmy Walker.
Hey.
And we all know him. He's nothing after good times.
And now Aaron Rye from somewhere in England.
Well,
anyway.
Kid, keep your head on straight.
Yeah.
Because it's about to get nuts. You got that PGA. It's going to, you talk about, it's going to be like Rossini-esque. Rossini saw Springsteen in New York City over the weekend.
Yep.
With her husband.
Oh, yeah.
And they went out with a bunch of other people. They were having cocktails beforehand. It didn't look like anything was wrong. They were sitting across from each other at the table. Good for that guy. Stick it in that thing publicly.
By the way, I placed one bet on the PGA Championship.
Okay.
And I waited until the round had started yesterday. I'm looking at the leaderboard. Smalley's up there still on top of the leaderboard, 6 under par, and a big group of players at 5 under. And I just log on and I'm looking. I said, who's going to give me the best money? And one of these guys who are, within a stroke or two. Aaron Rye. All right, I'll go ahead and do that. Take my 30% profit boost. Boom.
Nice.
And didn't cash it out early.
Wow.
Actually held on to that thing.
Good for you.
That makes up a little bit for all the money I lost on the Masters, which was plenty.
This is the life of Hardy. This is the glamorous life of Hardy.
Look at all these red symbols over here. These are all of my past bets, okay? Do you see anything but red?
It's all red, I can confirm.
That's all red, and then, boom, green, Aaron Rye. Thank you.
Let me see how much you put down on that someday.
How much of a dent did you make in your losses? Give me percentage-wise by scoring big with Rye yesterday.
Covered my Masters bets.
Oh, good.
That's a nice little win.
There you go.
I'll tell you this, is that I could just take you through my football season until the Super Bowl, and you would see nothing but red. Almost impossible the amount of losing I did. There were a couple flyer low-level bets that I just did for fun. But a lot of these were well thought out.
Oh, yeah.
Well thought out. like $100 bets, which for me is 100 units or whatever my units are.
Oh, God. Don't start.
So 100 is like a big bet for me, right? Like that's probably as high as I go.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been exceptions, but I don't bet thousands of dollars.
That's like 5 units.
Yeah, for me, that's like 5 units. So, let's not just say it's all Breece Hall 3 touchdown props or anything like that. And they all weren't like things I wanted to have happen either. They were things I thought were going to happen. And until the Super Bowl, I might have lost, no joke, 39 out of 40 bets because I stopped betting until the Super Bowl. I didn't bet for the last, I was just like, this isn't even any fun. It's not like I was losing enough money that it was like crippling me. But I was like, why am I doing this anymore? This isn't fun. Like, I don't care if I win now.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I lose. It's just more humiliating or anything just because it makes me feel dumb.
By the way, Rye started the tournament at a 290-1 long shot to win.
Oof. I think I thought I saw Rye. I saw it in him. I've been watching him. I was watching him hit balls. He was looking good. He showed up on time. I knew that he didn't get a 2-stroke penalty, so I knew he had something there. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Hardy does a golf show. No, don't worry. We're not going to play anything golf-related. But he had a special caller who, for a greenskeeper, had a lot to say. So we will have that for you in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy.
Finals, and Aaron Rai won the PGA Championship yesterday by 3 shots over John Rahm. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Kids eat free the day after the Red Sox win. Get a free kids meal with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallick on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Hardy hosts a show called the 98.5 The Sports Hub Golf Club.
Thank you.
Which is on at 4 o'clock in the morning on Sundays.
98.5 The Golf Club.
7 a.m.
And might as well be 4.
7 a.m. Sundays.
And it's available in podcast form, so you can turn it on and check it out now.
Beaton, is the podcast up? Yes.
It's up. Okay. And so did you do it live this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did it live because it was the PGA.
Yeah.
So you got up in the morning.
Yeah.
You drove in.
No.
You did it from home.
Yes.
Okay. So
connected, using our wonderful technology. George was running the show back here.
Sweet. So Beaton isn't here. He just produces it from a distance.
He's the executive producer. He's got a whole staff.
Now, is he paid for that?
I think it has been explained to Beaton that part of his job is being
all
the
under one
executive
umbrella.
producer of the Sports Hub Golf Club.
Because there's a lot of discussion during the Sports Club.
I believe that it has been explained to Beaton that his job depends on him doing things like the Sports Hub Golf Club. Is that accurate, Beaton?
I would say there's sales attached to this golf club program, so it would make me a little hard to fire with me being involved in sales.
Wow.
What?
Are you selling the show?
No, but the show is sold. So if I'm
they
working
told
on
you
something that
you got to do
sales.
you got to do a lot of work around here, and if you want to keep your job, you also have to produce the golf show.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I was saying.
You're not selling
I don't know why he's
anything.
invoking sales. But
because it's a money making.
It's a cash
It's
cow.
a cash cow, is what it is.
Okay.
It's people want to be associated with it.
Yes.
So, 1-2 times a year, Hardy will show up in his basement to do the show live.
That's completely inaccurate.
3 times this year.
4.
No, because you're going to be out of town.
Damn it.
3.
3.
I pay attention. So 3 times. So you got 2 of the live ones out of the way. So you can catch Hardy live one more time. And
Well
it will
done.
be the British Open.
The Open Championship.
The British Open.
Open Championship.
So lo and behold, Hardy is live on the air on Sunday morning. And who calls in but our good friend, Fake Blind Scott.
Now, first of all, it's important to note that this is the final segment of the show. From the very beginning, before we even went on the air, the real Blind Scott was on hold.
Oh.
And wanted to call in.
Yeah, I opened up Outlook email on my computer at home, my laptop, and tried to figure out how to get rid of Blind Scott's messages coming in, and it failed me.
Well, I can still help you with that. But during the first segment, I mean, I can't, man. I'm cooking. I'm going through not just, what happened on moving day on Saturday, but I'm going through how did we get to this point? What happened in the first round? Where were the missteps early on that could cost these players a major championship?
It's important to give the final day some depth.
I'm in it, man. I'm in the zone. So I'm not taking calls in that first segment. We get toward the end of the show, and I hear that Fake Blind Scott is on the line. And I say, okay, bump all other programming. George, who, under the tutelage and instruction of Ryan Beaton, running the show back here, I tell George, forget what we were going to bump back with here. Forget about John Rahm and his post-round comments from Saturday. We're going straight to fake blind Scott.
George, that's right. Run. Does George put anything about Facebook about being blessed for being on the golf show?
I haven't looked. I just logged on to Facebook for the first time in months. I see a message here from my Aunt Bonnie, who messaged me 3 times in 2 days, including one that says, still waiting to hear from you. So, I mean, but you only had messaged me 3 days before that. This is 2 months ago. I'm going to have to reach out to my Aunt Bonnie.
You're going to have to deal with Aunt Bonnie. All right, here we go.
Welcome back to the Sports Up Golf Club.
The Sports Up Golf Club rocking.
Oh yeah. It's
going hard.
This isn't your daddy's Sunday morning golf show.
This is for someone who puts a Bluetooth speaker in their cart when they play and rocks, Pandora's Loverboy list.
Yeah.
Loverboy channel.
Welcome back to the Sports Up Golf Club. Let's get to the phones here. No, it's not Fred Toucher. It's someone even better. Fake blind Scott.
Why did you invoke my name?
Because I had mentioned earlier that you were expected to call in, as you were expected to call in on Sunday of Masters weekend and did not.
It's funny. Nothing gets done on this station without me being mentioned.
Yeah.
I'm looming over everything.
No video gets posted. No.
I got
no song gets written.
Oh no, yeah. Don't get me. I don't like that at all. Yeah.
Well, you'll be happy to know all those were deleted smartly. I don't know if it was
set a bit of a precedent.
Anyway.
If we're not going to talk about it, we're not going to talk about it. I don't want to be vague about it, but I didn't think I didn't think any of you would like it either. I was pretty confident in that. All right, here we go.
Fake blind Scott joining us now on the program this morning. Fake blind Scott. What's happening this morning?
Good morning, Hottie. I heard you talking about golf, and that reminded me of the time Taylor Gooch threw a punch at me at the Carnoustie Golf and Jumanji Club, right? He was having dinner with a bunch of his golf buddies, and all I did was pat Nick Faldo on his head and tell him what a bunch of whimsical creatures the English are. And all of a sudden, it's sir, please this. And hey, these credentials are forged that. And release Rob Oppenheim's nipples at once, But luckily for me, Jeremiah Xanadu, the private first-class sandskeeper of Kernwood Golf Club and Dock Art Santorium, was there, and he smoothed everything over for me. Yeah. Hey, listen, well, I got you here. Do you have Fred's door code handy? He changed it again and forgot to tell me the new one, right? Probably because of all the women he gets now.
Right.
He gets more action than an Alabama donkey, right? He is buried in it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess I'll just wait down here until Fred wakes up.
Okay.
I got the Sunday funnies here, but Beetle Bailey was omitted.
Okay.
No, good. The cops are here to get me into Fred.
Thank you, Blind Scott. I appreciate it. Wow, references to Salem's own Rob Oppenheim, Kernwood Country Club, Fred's door code. Jam-packed call there from Fake Blind Scott as the round 4 of the PGA Championship will be getting underway here shortly.
Yes.
Be buried in it.
He's buried in it.
Like an Alabama donkey. I'm buried in it.
He even Easter eggs with the Beetle Bailey was omitted.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
I
didn't even catch that. Good job, 12.
Wow, that is an Easter egg.
That's really
well done,
good.
Adam 12. All right, so while Hardy is doing his take from a distance of the PGA Tour, John, for one of the dozen or so times this year, drove down to suburban Philadelphia.
Yep.
How long the ride down?
The ride down was about 5.
How long the ride back?
Almost 6. It was bad. Yesterday, I don't know what it is, for whatever reason, no matter what time I come home, when you get off of 84 North to get onto the Mass Pike East, it's a parking lot. And it's a parking lot for about 25 minutes. And at the end of a very long trip, it's kind of annoying a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're getting close to the city. Out at 84, you're still way out there.
I'm 38 miles from my exit when I get onto the Pike eastbound from 84. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you go through. How do you get through New York?
I go 84 south to the Merritt, and then over the Tappan Zee Bridge into New Jersey.
Okay. And so I can imagine that at times is an issue.
The Merritt is a coin flip when you get to the southern end of it, yes.
Yes.
When did you drive down on Friday?
We left Thursday right after work. So Thursday about 11-ish.
Yeah, and it's
11:30 in the
good.
morning.
Philadelphia is a good place to drive through because you're going through three if you count Boston, three of the largest metropolitan areas in the country.
That's smart. So you're rolling through you're going over the Tappan Zee at about 2-3 in the afternoon, and then you're rolling into Philadelphia about 4. The traffic isn't bad.
Well, I can tell you getting to Groton, and I have to go to Groton again today, and that can take upwards of an hour and 40 minutes. So I can only imagine, going through not only Boston, but then New York and then Philadelphia. But in fairness, John doesn't have to go through Philadelphia because he goes to a house that's 20 miles outside.
Yes, we go around Philadelphia. Philadelphia traffic, not a problem.
Yeah.
Smart.
Not a problem. And we got around New York, timed it just right, got around New York before it got bad.
So John and his wife have been having problems, so they said, we got to do something romantic. And
it was a getaway, yes.
So they decided to go to Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. They said, let's go down to Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. We all know about it. We've all dreamed of going to Aeronimic Golf Club.
Aeronimic.
Sure. However you want to say it. And we all dreamed of going there, the hallowed grounds. And so John went down there with his beautiful bride, and they kicked it around the golf club for a
Now,
couple
did you
days.
buy tickets for this one, or were they too expensive like the Wimbledon tickets, and you had to stand in line on Friday morning and try and get standing room?
They were given to us by my father-in-law for our anniversary. We just had our wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Everything a freebie with you. Okay, so you were given those, and so you go down, and do you sleep in the same bedroom at the house, or do you sleep in separate beds? Do you sleep on a couch?
We slept in the same bed.
Ooh.
Same bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have to be married until they would allow that?
They did. They were kind of lax on those rules. Thank goodness.
He's still giving you gifts for your. You've been married for a long time.
Yes, 19 years.
I think the proximity to their house is probably what was the idea, the germ of the idea.
It just seems
I prefer to think of it as a thoughtful gift, Fred.
No, I think that he probably went, oh, yeah, they like boring things. There's something happening right by our house.
It just seems odd that a father-in-law would be giving anniversary gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Like my father-in-law, while he was alive, he made it to the wedding, which I thought was nice of him. But I'm sure if when pressed afterward, he wouldn't be able to tell you, when we got married or when the anniversary was.
That's weird because the big thing that I had to eat after the divorce was not getting the big anniversary gifts for my in-laws. That was the one thing that's been the most difficult to deal with.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it just got grander and grander every year.
Is it part of an ongoing dowry that he is
No.
paying off?
No.
Was this a special anniversary?
No, it's number 19, so there's nothing special about 19.
Well, there was something
Hey,
special
19.
about all of them.
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
All right. So so you went down there and you drove and then you stayed at their home?
Yes. And then we went to the tournament. I'm not usually a stick around for 8 hours type of guy at a tournament, but we had a great
staying
time.
at your in-laws.
Right. We had a great time. We had a great time.
Did you go to the driving range?
Did not. Got there at 7:45 in the morning, so that was past driving range time. We wanted to see the action on the course. We got there at 7:45.
Past driving range time. That's peak driving range time.
I apologize. If only you were there, Hardy, to guide me in my endeavors, but you were not, so I kind of muddled through. Posted up on the 10th green, saw a lot of star power groups come through. Scotty Scheffler on that Friday missed a hole-in-one by about 1.5 feet. I was there to watch that on 17 on Friday. And saw a bunch of guys play. Xander Schauffele hit a drive about 350 yards on the third hole. Piped it right down the middle of the fairway. I was standing there.
Did you get a stipend from your in-laws so you could enjoy food and beverage at the course?
Food and beverage was free for everybody, not just me. It was really strange.
Is there per diem?
No. At you walk into these two different places where you could get the food, hot dogs, hamburgers, and stuff like that.
These were nice passes you got then.
No. It was for everybody, passes or no passes. Free food and beverage.
What were the lines like for that?
Long, very long, but they moved quickly.
Okay, and was it free beer?
No, beer and any alcohol you wanted, like at least $15 to $20.
Okay, but how come it was free food?
I don't know
That's
the answer to
interesting.
that. It was weird. You'd walk in and you'd take all your stuff, and then you'd turn around and look for the cashier, and there was no cashier. Just
Are you
walked
sure
out.
you weren't stealing?
Positive.
Okay, you
Positive.
double checked?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you say you camped behind the 10th green.
Yes, right next to the stands, right on the rope too. We got a good spot.
Did you walk the golf course?
Yes,
put that around your neck.
For the most part. We
in its entirety.
Not in its entirety, but we saw 2/3 of the holes walking around.
Did you wear a GPS watch so that you could also have yardage when you were standing next to players and see what?
No.
You think I'm joking?
No, I don't. That's why I laughed.
You wear your golf watch when you go to a golf tournament, and then you pull up the course it's being contested, and that way you get accurate yardages, so you can look and say, "Oh, he's like 215 away. He's got a 6-iron. My God, he's better jump on this."
What? Do you dress up when you go to golf tournaments? Golf shoes and like a golf shirt. I saw that a lot. That was a little weird. You're not playing. Why are you wearing golf spikes?
Traction.
Those people will say it's for traction,
no,
but it's not. Then they shouldn't do
that
it.
was a lot of strange. That was very weird.
Well, just keep your personal life to yourself.
Yeah, was there a lot of strange floating around?
Now, did you buy Hardy any memorabilia?
Actually, and he'll confirm this, I asked before I left. I say, "Do you want me to get you anything?" And Hardy said, "No, I have to go to the event in order to get a souvenir like that."
Yeah, I don't want anything. Now, the Masters was different. Before I went, Schneeks brought me back a hat a couple of times because he goes every year. I'm like, yeah, I'll take a Masters hat. That I will gladly accept.
You have like 6 Masters hats, right?
I think I'm more than that. But no, it was very nice of John to offer, but I did not take him up on that.
It would be nice if he just got you something and brought it in.
Yeah, like a ball marker or something.
Or just at least something about the Aeronymous Golf Club.
Aeronymous.
Just something that like was proof that you could at least lie to your friends and say you've been to the Aeronymous Golf Club.
And maybe even lie a little bit and say I was the one who didn't see a hole in one. That was John's big story.
But so close.
He just missed. It's a hell of a shot.
I love.
What did you see? Not a hole in one. It was awesome.
You just camp out right there on the green, and the balls about every 20 minutes just go right there on the green.
That's why you got to walk the course with your watch.
And you're still
with the watch.
Either way, it sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Well, John, I'm glad you went. The in-laws are well, I take it?
They are. They all say hello.
What did the boys do while you and the wife were at the tournament?
Boys stayed with friends up here in Boston.
Oh, they're old enough they could have stayed by themselves.
16, so not quite. No, we didn't.
All right.
No.
Even with 2 of them?
Yeah. Even with 2 of them.
Okay.
I got one who would leave the door unlocked when he left the house. Just randomly.
Well, you can't do that in Natick, especially with your estate.
That's right.
3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No. No. No.
All right.
How old were you when your parents left you alone for the first time when they left?
Well, I had no older sister, but I don't know. I was probably 10 or 11, and she was 14, maybe.
Yeah, I think 14 was the first time my parents.
3 nights alone in the house?
To be honest with you, I don't remember.
I don't think they ever took a trip together of that length.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, it's not like my parents were zooming around the world, but I was left alone.
Yeah.
And I was an only child, and I was left alone. In huge parties. Real shindigs.
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll be back. Ian Brown will talk about the very exciting Red Sox season that's going gangbusters. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
It's Fred, and spring has sprung, and yeah, the weather's finally turning. But the damage winter did to your roof, that's not going anywhere. If your roof took a beating this winter, it might be time to replace it. So do this. Call my friends at East Coast Metal Roofing at 844-611-ECMR or eastcoastmetalroofing.com and schedule a free quote. East Coast Metal Roofing installs permanent metal roofs in every New England state and even Florida. The roofs are built for New England weather and are guaranteed for life. They even come with a lifetime transferable non-prorated warranty. And right now, during their Spring into Savings event, Sports Hub listeners get 10% off a brand new roof. Just make sure to mention me, Fred Toucher, or 98.5 The Sports Hub to ensure you get the 10% off deal. They also offer no payments and no interest for a full year with approved credit. So do it right, do it once, and never worry about your roof again. Call 844-611-ECMR or go to eastcoastmetalroofing.com.
Hey, North Andover, Monkey Sports is your go-to spot for hockey, lacrosse, baseball, and more. And right now, you can score big. Mention Sports Hub at checkout for 20% off your purchase. Fresh gear, great savings, all at Monkey Sports North Andover. Come check them out.
Spring into savings with a new ride from Bernardi Toyota. Right now, get our lowest prices of the year on over 200 new vehicles. Drive away in a new Toyota this spring at Bernardi or shop anytime at
ticket not punched.
Hardy.
No, the ticket's not punched.
Fred.
You got a bunch of stuff wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Dutcher and Hardy.
This country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Up.
Based on, like we always said, we're going to base it on the bullpen. And if we're going to try to stay away from some lefties that are kind of overused, it didn't make sense.
Hardy, Ian Brown is the supervising club reporter from MLB.com. He covers the Red Sox. He's been doing so for a long time. Ian Brown, thank you for joining us, sir.
Hey, good to be on with you guys. How you doing?
Appreciate it. All right. So Meyer is said that he is going to start working at shortstop. Is this something that you see happening?
Yeah, I mean, assuming Trevor Story's going to be out, like, say, a month or longer, I think it makes sense for this team to put Meyer at shortstop. It's his natural position. Sometimes you put guys where they're most comfortable. They hit better. You've seen it before. So I think that you will see that happen. It's going to take maybe a week or so for him to work out there and regain his comfort there. But, yeah, I think that is something that's going to happen.
And once he's there, will he stick?
Well, we'll see what happens with Trevor, too, once he's healthy. So a lot up in the air right now. Obviously, Trevor Story's struggled quite a bit. Was that anything health-related or so I think, I don't know if he'll stick right now. We'll see. All depends on how long Trevor Story's out. But it'll stick for a while because I do think Trevor Story's going to be out for a while with this injury.
Is that wise, though, to keep moving a kid you're counting on like that around? Like, if you put him at shortstop and he does fairly well, wouldn't the conventional wisdom be to keep him there and then just like now he's our shortstop and just get him comfortable in that position?
Yeah, and you could say to Trevor, look, you're just coming back from a serious injury here. Maybe we'll take some of the burden off you and have you play second base. So, we'll see how all that goes. Trevor Story, don't forget, played an excellent second base for this team in 2022, his first year with the team. So it's too early to say what they're going to do. But if Meyer just takes shortstop and runs with it and then starts hitting like he can hit, then I agree it's going to be tough to take him off there. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this plays out in the next few weeks.
You mentioned hitting. That's not something this team does much of. And all year long, it doesn't seem to matter. You could pick the lineup out of a hat. Why has this happened? I mean, they have three of the worst hitters in Major League Baseball before Story got hurt, playing every single day. Why has all of this happened to this team?
I've never seen anything like this in all my years covering baseball. A team that you look every day in the 6th, 7th inning, and they have 3 hits, and they have 1 or 2 runs, and they're going on 8 games now where they've scored 3 runs or less. Why it's happened? I mean, they don't have the one big dog that you like to have in the middle of the lineup, or it's in the lineup. I think they thought going into the year that was going to be Roman Anthony. A lot of pressure, obviously, to put on a 21-year-old kid. But, yeah, they changed they fired Alex Cora, and they changed the whole hitting group thinking that, maybe a new coaching staff would ignite the offense. But they just don't have a lot of, big-time hit. I think one hitter could really change this whole lineup. If you go out and trade for a real impact hitter, sometimes that can change a whole lineup. So they're just missing the guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I thought that Pete Alonso should have been their top priority going into this offseason, because that could just takes a little pressure off everyone. But now everyone's trying a little too hard. Jaron Duran is one guy. He's shown some signs of life lately, but he's really got to be the guy that gets this offense going right now. Hopefully they get Roman Anthony back, I think, by the end of the week. But, yeah, it's been tough to watch, believe me.
Did they really think that the coaching change, not just with Cora, but with other people on the staff, was somehow going to ignite the offense? Because I think you kind of said it. They're lacking the guy or the guys that have the requisite skills in order to, to be that offensive presence in the lineup. Did they truly believe that somehow just changing the coaching and who was, coaching them up at batting practice was going to fix anything?
I just think they thought it was so bad that some change might help. And it was obviously a miscalculation. We're seeing now that this had nothing to do with Pete Fatsi, the former hitting coach, and his lieutenants. This was not on them. This was kind of on a lineup that's, how many people said going into the year, how are they going to score? How are they going to hit home runs with this lineup? And everyone said it, and now we're seeing it play out. And now it's like it's almost on them to fix it. They have to go out and find some way to revive this offense. And it's not, especially the coaches they have, they're not established major league coaches. These are all guys that are kind of filling in right now. So it just it didn't seem like a good plan here. I understand why you change managers sometimes just to spark the team. And whether you liked Alex Cora or not, and, I didn't think he was the problem either, but I can see why you make that change. But I thought it was excessive to make the amount of changes they did to the coaching staff 1 month into the season, because it takes guys out of their comfort zone even further. So now they're trying to get used to new hitting coaches, and there's just a lot of change at once.
For the most part, the pitching has been good, and that's something that this club was supposed to lean on. But I'm watching Brian Bayo yesterday, and when he has an opener, the last 2 times he was out there before this one, he was fine, and then they ask him to start a game, and he's terrible. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I was a little uneasy with them making that switch, because it's almost like if it's not broke, don't fix it type of thing. And he was really good his last 2 times coming out. And I remember we saw this with Nick Pivetta in 2023, where he was really struggling, came out of the rotation, and then they kind of did the same thing and made him kind of the bulk innings. And he had a dominant few months there just coming out of the bullpen and being the 6 or 7 inning guy in the bullpen. So it can change your mindset. Their reasoning was that their lefties had been overworked lately, so they couldn't afford to use them as an opener. I think it's flawed a little bit, because why not just try like a Zach Kelly or someone like that? It's only one. And I know the Braves are loaded with lefties at the top of their lineup, but why not, try a Zach Kelly or someone like that for 1 inning and just see if you can get by and keep Bayo in that attack mode he had been in as a reliever. Is that the reason he struggled? I don't know. But, just don't mess with something that's working. So, we'll see what's going to happen there. The bigger story is what's going to happen to Bayo when Crochet comes back, and I think Crochet will be back between 10 days and 2 weeks at most. And at this point, it looks like, Brian Bayo is probably going to be opted to AAA if these other guys in the rotation keep pitching the way they are.
Yeah, John said not to trade him last week. So, but okay, so you said it. The idea was Roman Anthony's 21 was going to be your linchpin in this offense, which conventional baseball wisdom, this is not, the conventional baseball wisdom would be to say that's a bad idea for numerous reasons. A, the amount of pressure you're putting on the kid is generally, teams don't like to do that. B, you've spent money on this team and you've made moves to improve in the offseason, and yet you're still relying on a 21-year-old kid to be the linchpin of the offense. Conventional wisdom would tell you that's not a good idea. So, again, I come back to, if this organization is so buttoned up and everything is down, to the letter, and everything is run on advanced metrics and things of that nature, what is the excuse for just going against all this conventional wisdom and having it not work out? At what point does this model that they're working with, do they go, oh, the model's wrong?
Yeah. See, I think what happened was the metrics are the problem here, and they fooled them. And if they weren't looking at the human side enough, like, oh, what is taking Alex Bregman away from this lineup going to do to these guys emotionally? They were counting on him as their leader. They maybe had models that had guys hitting more than they're hitting right now, and they were just looking at it more from a computer standpoint. How many runs are we going to score? Not looking at, everyone's going to be putting a lot of pressure on themselves, trying to do too much because we don't have that big established star in the middle of the lineup. The guy they traded almost a year ago, Rafael Devers, a guy like that, and they still haven't replaced him. So I think that the metrics are what got them into this mess, and they just have to find a way out of it now, because computers aren't going to fix this. They're going to need to find somebody who can actually hit the baseball and be a run producer and be someone other teammates can kind of look to kind of carry them a little bit in this offense, because that guy just doesn't exist on this team right now.
And it's weird because Breslow played for a long time, so you would think that he was aware that humans play the game. And I'm not being flippant. I mean, there is human error, and there is emotion, and there is things like pressure, and there is things like, you know, when you're losing, just an attitude. I mean, these are things you can see at any level of any sport. I mean, there is all this. But is he just going along with what the organization wants to do, or is Breslow really dug in and believes that this is the way to operate this team?
No, I think Craig Breslow is running this front office right now. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And you look at one thing. I mean, who thought Jaylen Brown was going to be hitting 180? Right now. So I think that's one guy that you could have reasonably expected to be doing a lot better. Breslow thought that Caleb Durbin was going to be a much bigger contributor than he is. That hasn't worked. We all saw what Trevor Story did, whether it was injury or not. He was kind of a shell of what he was last year. So, again, projections.
If these were kids, I get it.
Yeah.
But they're not, yeah. And that's the thing, is that a kid, you believe in them, and you see in the Driveline or whatever the hell else you're using, and you go, all right, but then you want to put them in a position where you can kind of make them comfortable and let them learn at a major league level, figure out the major league. You give them that kind of grace. You're talking about guys veterans, guys. I mean, yeah, okay, so it's not your problem, but okay, so they thought Duran would hit better. They thought Durbin would hit better. Well, they're not. So something is. I'm just wondering when they go, or John Henry goes, if he cares, and he goes, hey guys, the fact of the matter is what you're doing has not worked, and it's not working. So this is not the way that we're operating this team anymore. And that's just going to be an interesting point to see when they get to that.
Just be good business to look at it that way.
Well, just can you admit this doesn't work? I know it says it's supposed to, but the fact is, which is the fact and reality is what we have to deal with. It's not working.
Well, one thing that ownership hasn't been afraid of doing in the last 7 to 8 years is change philosophies, change direction, change personnel. We've all seen it. We know kind of some of the instability that's happened with the front office here over the last many years. So, these owners, say what you want about them, they do not like to lose and be embarrassed.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, so it is going to be, I agree, we're in for, if this team doesn't bounce out of this, what's going to be the fallout?
Watch, they bring in like Earl Weaver. They just bring in some like crazy old school baseball guy.
What's the Major League Baseball equivalent of John Tortorella?
Yeah, just bring in some nerds, Bruno. This. All right,
Jim Leland.
Yeah, exactly. Just have him ripping butts. Ian Brown, thank you so much. Read him at MLB.com. It will be interesting to see how this all works out. Thank you, Ian.
All right, great to be on with you guys.
All right, appreciate it. We'll be right back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Brian Bayo
my buddy and me.
With friends like these,
To climb up a tree.
you know.
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
Now, more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Obviously, golf, like whatever. I just like making fun of it because Hardy loves it so much. And John was at
That's
the.
mean.
Yeah, that's the idea, to make you miserable. So I was. John was at the PGA Championship, and I was joking around. What's the guy's? How do you pronounce the guy's name that won it?
Rye.
Aaron Rye.
Aaron Rye. So I was joking. I just hope he can deal with the fame. Well, I got sent an Athletic article, and this is pretty, at least ironic. Aaron Rye sat in his parked rental car on Sunday night for 30 additional minutes, hashing out the day's events before retiring for the evening, before letting his head hit the pillow on the eve of what would become the most consequential round of his life. He turned to his wife, who has a name that I can't pronounce. The soon-to-be PGA champion expressed a worry that she'd never heard before. Quote, "Sometimes I feel that the things around me are going to change too much if I do something too crazy." Rye feared the summit. When the journeyman pro from the English Midlands envisioned the climactic career moment.
Climactic.
What's
If you're
it?
good.
Climactic career moment, he saw not just a trophy,
Yeah.
but also the newfound fame,
Yeah.
attention, and demands on his time.
Yeah.
The things that come with the pinnacle of this profession
Shut up,
profession
Wallick.
scared him.
It's gonna be
because
buried
he
in it.
worried that in the process of it all, he might lose himself.
Yeah.
It's going to be too much.
I felt the same way when I started hosting the Sports Hub Golf Club. I
Oh.
said, how is this going to change me?
Well, you're kind of a gatekeeper, so you know the kid's got a little. Don't rush him into the fold too much.
Yeah.
Don't. What's the next one?
Which is why I think it was good that it started at 6 a.m. initially. It kept me grounded, and it was kind of like a slow burn of the fame and riches that came with it.
So the next major is the U.S. Open?
Correct.
Okay, so maybe on the Sports Hub Golf Club, don't push the Rye narrative too much going into the U.S. Open. Don't put too much
Smart.
pressure on the kid.
No, you know what? I hadn't even thought of that. And see, you listen and enjoy the show more than you let on, because that probably would have been my inclination to kind of go in that. Let's see if he can back up what he's done already. No, let's not put too much pressure on him.
Yeah, focus on the guys who can take it, like Chris Gottenerp or Harris English, like these guys. Focus on the guys that have experienced.
It's a big
it.
ask for Harris, but okay, I understand.
All right, well, listen, if we're going to talk about Rocco Hoey, then we're going to do it. All right? But how funny is that? I was joking around sarcastically about how, like, oh no, I hope the kid can take this. It's the fame that comes with winning the PGA is going to be overwhelming. Now, I do understand that winning a major in golf is a great accomplishment if you're a golfer, and I understand the amount of pressure on you when you're in the act of winning the major.
Are you saying that Aaron Rye will still be able to walk down the streets and not be bombarded with fans asking for photos and autographs?
New York City, Saturday night, Times Square, Scotty Scheffler, arguably the best golfer in the world.
Yes.
2 people might say hello to him. He's okay.
I don't know. He's tall.
Well, who would know? Aaron Rye is okay. Aaron Rye will be okay. I don't think the demands on his time. Now, when he goes back to the Midlands, to his hometown, I'd imagine people give him a pat on the back. But I'd imagine being a professional golfer already gave him a taste of local fame. I mean, if a professional golfer is from the neighborhood you're from, I would assume that there is some talk of that person, as they have a unique profession.
There were some interesting guys in that mix who have flirted with fame and could have been like recognizable guys. I would say Cam Smith who was the guy who won the Open Championship not long ago. He looks like the Weasel from Ice Age.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of got the mullet thing going.
Okay.
But as soon as he won, like the day after he won the Open Championship,
he did it too.
he went to live.
Yeah, and then it's like you just
you just you could have been, if what you were after was like fame and notoriety, you just blew it up because now no one's gonna know you or see you again unless you're on the first page of a leaderboard at a major championship, which he was yesterday.
The interesting thing about the live is that for me is like because like they got like a just ridiculous amount of money, but it's not like on the PGA Tour you're not making a lot of money. But my thing is that you dreamt your whole life of being on the PGA Tour. It really speaks a lot to like where people's heads are at when you are living your dream and someone goes, I know you're making like John Rahm, like you're making, how much do you think John Rahm makes a year? Just real quick, approximately.
$50 million.
When he was on PGA?
20.
Okay. You're making $20 million. You're living your dream. These tournaments that you grew up like this, that you wanted to be like the best golfer in the world. Like this was your dream. And you are making more money than your generational wealth that will span, much longer than your kids are even alive. And you go, but I'll give you more money to do something like tangentially related to this, not anything you grow up wanting, and you'll be pretty much playing in obscurity. And they go, okay, couldn't you see not doing that?
Yeah.
I could see not going, no, I'm fine. I'm doing my dream.
Right. It made sense for like the much lower guys.
Sure.
So there's this guy he's been on the Sports Hub Golf Club, no big deal. His name is Brendan Steele. Also a big fan of and would do podcasts with music guys like the dudes from like Linkin Park. He was like a pretty grounded, pretty like solid dude. He had won, I don't know, twice on the PGA Tour in 20 years. He was not getting filthy rich off the PGA Tour. He was getting by on making cuts and just this journeyman if there ever was one. LIV came to him. I don't know what they offered him, but let's say it was $10 million.
It's life-changing money.
Life-changing. It's like, okay, now I don't have to worry about this for the next
It's a completely different thing. It's a completely different thing. But if you were like succeeding on the PGA Tour and you didn't have to worry about making cuts and stuff like that, it's almost, it's just it shows like a lack of character. Like it really does. Like I don't understand. And now it's all blowing up on them. Now they have their money, but they're not living their dream.
Yeah, and they've wasted years. Presumably where they would have been in their prime. And golf is weird. They can come back and you can have a second, act in golf for sure. But a lot of guys don't. Most guys don't.
Of course, most guys don't. It's very rare. I mean, it's a big story when you do. All right, we'll be back. Don't worry. We got Eddie Trunk stuff, so everyone don't turn away. I'll get excited. Don't worry.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
He plays no music during this, except on very special occasions. Like if Steve Vai is on, he'll play a new Steve Vai song. Maybe not all of it, but at least enough to give you a little taste. Like, I don't know, if he's got someone from Jackal on, for instance, Jesse James Dupree, he'll give you whatever Jesse's serving up at that point in time. You know, he's got a baked beans festival, a country cook-off. Jackal will be headlining. Or Jesse is a solo guy. Don't worry about it. So anyway, Eddie's on 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, talking to you live. He was on the Creed cruise. He was on the whatever other cruise he was on. He did 2 cruises in a row. He's friends with Sammy Hagar. He had Neil Sean on last week from Journey. There was some talks about what's the deal with Journey's singer. Is he in? Is he out? Who knows? But anyway, if you wanted to know what kids that were in shop class for 6 hours a day in high school in 1982 are up to, look no further than Eddie Trunk Show.
Listen no further than the callers to the Eddie Trunk Show.
It's amazing. It's like, you went to North Farmington in 1983 and had a riff shirt on 4 days a week. You smoked beet weed in the parking lot when I was like a little kid and was fascinated with what was going on. So Eddie has thoughts and feelings and emotions like everyone else. And Adam, you have gone through. It's a passion project for you. Throw you in the briar patch. You get to listen to Eddie
Yes,
Trunk.
Absolutely, and we come up with.
What's Eddie Trunk talking about? Oh, yeah.
We find clips of Eddie Trunk and we bleep out a whole bunch of stuff to not give it away. And it's up to you to figure out what Eddie Trunk is talking about in this particular instance, Fred. It is a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame related rant. And Eddie attempts to provide a bit of an analogy for you to play around with here.
All right, so everyone knows the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a joke, except if you get in, and then it's the greatest. Eddie's got a lot of problems with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Eddie is part of a very put-down minority in the United States, and that's rockers, metalheads. I mean, the government, culture, everyone seems to be, it's like impossible to get a job now. I mean, it's never been harder to be a rock and roll guy than it is right now. And Eddie speaks for that trodden upon minority, and he speaks loudly and proudly 5 days a week during afternoon drive across North America.
Right. Is this a local show? Is this a podcast?
No, it could be in your car, right? In any one of your cars. You pay $2 a month to get Sirius Satellite Radio. You can hear Eddie Trunk. It's Howard Stern, Mad Dog, and Eddie Trunk.
Tell him you're going to drop your subscription once, and he'll go to $2 a month.
If you have the patience to even do it. I'm too lazy to even do that. All right, here we go. Here is Eddie Trunk. Who's he talking about?
All these rock.
And by the way, I'm not stopping it necessarily if there's a long pause. Eddie takes dramatic pauses to collect his thoughts because he doesn't want... Listen, he's speaking for a downtrodden minority.
You want the people to get the full flavor of the show.
Yeah. Black people might understand what rockers are going through, but probably not. Gays, nah. Rockers got a little more difficult.
All these rock feeds are reporting now about Blaze being added to the maiden induction.
All right, so I'm sorry to stop it again, but as you all know,
Blaze Bayley
is omitted.
When Iron Maiden, when Iron Maiden was nominated to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, these idiot losers at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame put everybody that had ever been an Iron Maiden as part of the nomination, except for, hello, Blaze Bayley, who sang on an album. Okay? So.
How the
So Eddie loses it. I apologize for him. If your kids are in the car, just let him know what he's talking about.
Fronted the band.
Sometimes revolution needs a voice like this. And so, anyway, a great victory of Eddie's was that the Academy realized that Blaze Bayley had been left off, and they put him on. But it won't silence Eddie just because you kowtowed to one of his demands. He's the Malcolm X of rock.
And it hit me because, and this just screams of the insane inconsistencies and why that part of the Hall of Fame process has to be made uniform. Because think about this one. Did not get inducted with.
All right, so we know a member of a group did not get inducted with them. Okay?
Okay.
And Eddie's pissed. You know it because he stops talking for long periods of time.
And it is the same exact situation.
You thought it couldn't happen
The
twice.
same exact situation. Did 2 studio albums and a couple live albums as the replacement for in neither record overly well received, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Eddie.
Well, so much for Phil Collins and Genesis. That was going to be my first guess.
Yeah, I thought it was Sammy Hagar with Van Halen. But the thing is that, look, Eddie's not going to, look, it wasn't well received by the nerds at the magazines or the stupid fans that consume music.
Right.
It was, but that it shouldn't influence anyone. This band was nominated.
The fact that nobody liked it shouldn't be a check against them and his consideration for induction.
How do you even measure success? Is it album sales or people coming to shows? I mean, that's not fair.
How do you know when you're done making love? These are the unanswerable questions.
I mean, so it's up to the public or critics or a combination of both to decide what's successful and what's not? Okay. Then I guess Y and Z were never good.
Y and T?
Sure.
I was wondering too.
Yeah.
The
My
one with
bad.
the robot.
Y and T.
My bad.
Summertime Girls. Let's hear
I'm
it.
sorry. It's a Monday. And I'm no Eddie. I mean, this is just exemplifies how I'm no Eddie Trunk.
All right, Garfield, get it together.
Neither record overly well received, if we're being honest.
In fairness, he has a big plate of lasagna in front of him, and it's very hard for me to focus.
Some people like the records, some don't.
Yeah, idiot.
And in both cases, and if, just like in Maiden's case with Blaze, the records weren't well received, and
Yeah, he's so pissed he can't speak.
for whatever reason, whether it's the records or the replacement singer, the live draw fell off dramatically. And ultimately, the guy everybody wanted came back. In the case of Bruce in 2000 with Maiden.
Yeah, Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, both singers held the fort.
Yeah, it's true.
Kept the band going during a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And can we
During the war.
Can we take a moment to talk about the singers that bravely keep bands going in obscurity so the original singer can come back and make the band popular again? Because the band just disbanded and didn't have anybody in it and then came back with the original singer and was popular again. They wouldn't have had all that time of failing. And that's important time. Why won't the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame talk about the guys that failed? Please. That's what Hall of Fames are all about. Like, for instance, Mickey Mantle didn't play every day in center field for the Yankees. What about the dickhead that played when he wasn't healthy? Why is he not in the Hall of Fame? I mean, Ozzie Smith didn't play 162 games a year. Where's Jose Akendo? I ask.
And depending upon where you land on the records, made good, great, okay, bad records, but made 2 records with the band as the singer. And now...
Yeah.
I think he's talking about my guy Zach from Smash Mouth.
If and when Maiden goes in, rightfully, Blaze is now going to be included as of a few days ago.
And he celebrated by lighting a fart.
Who's missing? Went in, was not included. The same exact situation.
That's the word you were looking for.
You
Okay.
didn't stop
One
that.
band,
No.
that singer
Yeah.
was excluded
Yes.
on the sideline.
Yes.
And now for Maiden, that same exact singer with the same body of work is being included. How is that fair?
Nuts.
How does that make sense?
I don't know. Are you going to tell us? It's coming up. Don't worry.
Right there in black and white.
Oh. Is it the band Black and White?
Shows you yet another example of how many things are wrong with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Even when a band finally goes in, it's messed up. I mean, waited forever. Finally, they get in. They backdoor them, musical achievement, whatever. But then they leave a guy who sang lead vocals on 2 albums out.
Okay. So this is a band that got in recently. It's obviously New Order. Is it someone from the Wu-Tang Clan? Did they not include Inspect the Deck?
No, it is not one of this year's inductees. But it is a recent inductee.
Okay. If Motley Crue was in the Hall of Fame, this would be John Corabi, the singer that filled in for Vince Neil.
Yes.
But I don't know if Motley Crue is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that might be too popular a band.
Yes.
So I am thinking of a band that's older than Motley Crue.
Yes.
Okay, I'm thinking a band from the 70s.
Started in the 70s.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a band, perhaps a band by the name of Bad Company.
That is incorrect.
Okay, am I sniffing around the right area?
You have your errors right, but your genre wrong. You want a metal band.
Oh, I was going to
a metal band. Oh, is it Judas Priest?
It is Judas Priest.
Is it Ripper Owens?
Tim Ripper Owens.
Whoa!
You want a little Burn in Hell from 1997's Jugulator? Because that's what you got for getting that right.
Yeah, the Jugulator. That's what Rocky Swears' first guy she came up against was.
I'm still laughing. There's not much else.
Why was this not popular?
But one thing's certain. I'm coming back for you.
Okay, great.
It sounds like one of the fake Alice Cooper songs they put in Wayne's World.
Yeah. All right, so the idea is that Judas Priest were very popular. Then Rob Halford left. Then they toiled in obscurity for a while. And then Rob Halford came back in, and they were able to play arenas again.
What the toil in obscurity? I think they released a couple albums in there, Fred.
Yeah, but people hated them, and they didn't do well. So why isn't Ripper Owens in the hall? Methinks Eddie's friends with Ripper Owens.
Who's missing?
But anyway, from 3 to 5 in the afternoon, every Monday through Friday, while you sit in rush hour traffic, there's a guy getting paid to complain about Ripper Owens not being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that is just a small section of it. Don't you think there's not numerous shows and hours and hours and hours of content being put on a billion-dollar company's airwaves during afternoon drive on a real station?
And I also always like to ask, just as a reminder, all this talk of music, does he play music?
He does not.
Okay.
Not on this.
Okay.
No.
Interesting.
In fact, he'll have a segment that kills, like he'll do 2 hours on best drum intros to songs.
Yeah.
Right? And someone will call in and they'll go, oh, I don't know, Loudness is Hanoi Hooby Hooby. And then he'll go, yeah, that's awesome. And they'll go, yeah. And then they'll go, great. And then they'll move on. You won't hear the drum intro. But, in your mind's eye, you can kind of figure out how it sounds, And they'll go like best bass intros. And they'll go, oh, Thin Lizzy's, Jailbreak or something. And then you'll go, oh, yeah? And they'll go, yeah. And they won't play it. Because, listen, what do you think? He's got a team of guys? Eddie, he jets between Vegas and New Jersey. He doesn't have a staff with things to do. I mean, he can't just queue up one of the 20 bands people might mention in a computer system with touch screens and a way to search.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't. You don't need to hear the intro to the song. Just
think about this one.
It exists. Thank you, Eddie. And I apologize to Ripper Owens, and I apologize to the world. At least there's someone fighting for us.
It's messed up.
It is. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Mike Reese is going to join us, and he was texting us over the weekend. He's been to a bunch of shows himself. We'll be talking to him in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy will be right back on the Sports Hub.
All right, so it's springtime, and you're walking around your house. You're seeing all the damage done by the winter. Maybe it's the roof. Okay, you don't see that, but you probably see...
How's the storm? You ready? Everybody, let it loose. Here we go. We walk outside the street in the night.
Although we lie close together, we feel miles apart inside. Was it something I said or something I did? Did the words not come out right? Though I tried not to hurt you, though I tried. Oh, Mike Reese was there. Did you bring a lighter, Mike Reese, or did you use your phone light?
That was beautiful right there.
Thank
that
you.
was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
We all had our cell phones up, Fred. I'm trying to think, maybe 2,000? 2,000 is about the capacity at the Hampton Beach Casino.
Yeah. A lot of generational wealth in that building. Now, Mike, Eddie Trunk let us know via Instagram that recently the 40th anniversary of Look What the Cat Drag did.
That was on the set list. So if I will only 11 songs, Fred. So that would be like the one critique.
Oh.
So it's a tighter set, a little over an hour. Honestly, a great energy. I think he does a great job. Bret Michaels, 63 years old.
And diabetic. So over an hour, 10 songs. Were there extended jams? How is that possible?
So, yeah, good.
Spoiler, there's a spoiler at the end of it. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. So, one reason it went long was I'm right up on the rail, and four people to my left, there's a guy who has a poster, and he puts it over the rail, and Bret Michaels stops in the middle of Something to Believe In, and he reads the poster, and it says, "Our first date was to a Bret Michaels concert, and I'm wondering if you can call me up on stage so I can propose." And so he literally stops the middle of the song, Fred, and calls the guy up on stage. He jumps over the rail with the help of security, and he takes the microphone and he proposes. And it was like 5 minutes. The show sort of stopped.
What a gift to the crowd. What a gift to you as a paid attendee. That had to be nice.
Love was in the air, Fred. You would have loved it.
Yeah, I would have. I would have loved to have spent money to see a guy play
You would have
music.
loved the drive up to Hampton Beach Casino.
Well, I mean, that too.
And then ironically, they went into Fallen Angel after that, which is probably not the best song to hear after you propose. But he actually ended the set with a cover, Mike. How did you feel about that?
At that point, I was flying high, Hardy, and he could have ended with anything. It didn't matter. It was a great time. It was Sweet Home Alabama. Called up a couple friends. So what I didn't realize is, I guess Hampton Beach means a lot to him because
It's the only place that he can play.
No, not at all. Oh,
okay.
no.
Okay.
Fred, so I guess what happened was when he went solo after the Poison stuff, that was maybe the first place he went. And so he says he likes to come back. And this was sort of the start of his concert season. So
Well, he was living under a bridge very close to there for at least 6 months around that time.
Mike, you called it an 11-song set, but it appears you're also counting song 8, which was a drum solo.
Good fact check, Hardy.
Yeah.
Good fact check. You got me. 10 songs.
10 songs. Who was the drummer?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. Who was the drummer you heard do a solo?
Was it Vinny Appice?
No, it was actually her name was Mary. I don't know the last name.
What's
but
the
we
world
could probably
coming to?
search that up.
Well, you don't need a last name. It was just Mary, the drummer for Bret Michaels.
Yeah.
We know her. We know who she is. All right. Okay, Mike. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Any other shows recently that you would like to speak of?
Well, I was talking to John because we had Night Ranger a couple weeks ago at Twin River Casino, which I don't know if you guys have been down there.
Of course not, Mike. I'm employed.
good venue, really good venue to see a show. You go down, go to
Play a penny slots, yeah.
Go
Watch
to
a
the
murder.
Steve Diassi and Fred Smirls have a steakhouse down there.
It's still there after all these years?
Yeah,
Really?
why not? It's free rent.
Oh, my God. All right.
Fantastic. And that was great. And I'll tell you what I liked about that, guys, was they sort of let you go up and create like a little mini pit, like right in front of the stage. And Fred, how about this? They played for an hour and 40 minutes. And Jack Blades, I mean, he's 72, 73 years old. So, and that was really high energy and and that was sold out. That was sold out as well.
Well, listen, Brett Michaels is actually in all reality a very nice guy, and has been very nice to people I know. So and listen, when I was a little kid, I loved Poison. That album came out when I was 11 years old. I thought CeCe DeVille was a girl, and if you look at the album cover, you would think the same thing. And here we are. All right, Mike. Listen, we're in the very precipice of the preseason. But there is a story in the receiver room that Kayshon Boutte was not participating in the non-mandatory off-season workouts. Anything to see here?
Well, so I think just look at the numbers, Fred. So at receiver, you got Romeo Doubs, who they signed, Mac Hollins, Kyle Williams, Pop Douglas. Let's put A.J. Brown in there, assuming that happens. Efton Chisholm, that's a lot of guys. And so I think it's more, I don't think it's anything like one way or the other. It's just how they all fit. So, and when there are examples of guys that haven't participated or that they come at a different time and they end up being fine. So I think it's just something, let's just keep an eye on it.
Wait, so you think he's pissed that there's that many receivers?
I don't think that is necessarily maybe what it is. I think
he thinks he's being moved.
A trade. This would be the A.J. Brown trade.
I don't know if maybe it would be tied to it, John. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but it's one I'm keeping an eye on. I don't have the answer.
No, I know, I know, but you're insinuating something, and just the insinuation is that Boutte would be moved because of A.J. Brown. There would be redundancy, and Boutte's not coming because he knows he's being moved. It would be what the implication.
Yes. I guess I think that would be something that wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if that's what's going to happen.
Right. I understand
don't know if
that.
it should, Fred. Yeah. I don't know if it should happen. Like, he played really well for him last year. So I don't know. There's another piece there that probably needs to be reported out. Like, how does he feel about? I think he enters the last year of his contract, so I don't know about the contractual piece in terms of, like how he views that. So just keeping an eye on it.
Well, he's a kid that's progressed every year.
Definitely.
So like you wonder, because like now it's that, like you said, it's that crowded receiver room. You wonder if he went somewhere where there was more opportunity. You would guess he probably doesn't project as a one, but could he be a valuable piece? He was last year for a good team. I mean, could he be a valuable piece? John's like, you're acting like he wasn't, but Boutte was good last year.
I know. Yeah. When you say a one, I don't think
no. I said he couldn't be a one.
Right.
I said though that I wonder if he could be a valuable piece.
Yes.
For a team. And look, his numbers weren't like outstanding last year, but he's improved every year. So it's an interesting story because he's not someone you lose and it like doesn't matter. I think Pop Douglas is more of a guy that if you lose, it doesn't matter. I think Boutte's a more effective receiver than Pop Douglas.
Well, let's ask Mike real quick about Pop Douglas. Obviously, he was there. Whatever they had 2 years ago, he was the best offensive weapon they had, and he got completely lost last year. Is there a way back for him to be a productive wide receiver, or do you think he's kind of shuffled to the back of the room for good?
I think there's a way back, John. I wouldn't necessarily say that would decisively happen. I think between him and Efton Chisholm, that's probably a good competition. Maybe they both make it. Maybe maybe it's one or the other. And I just sort of, I just go back to Kayshon Boutte for a second, guys. Like, there's a part of me that like these workouts are voluntary. Most of the guys are there. I think, coaches have to be careful in, there's a reason it's voluntary, right? But when you're not there, like, I do take note of that myself because I think you're building chemistry with your teammates. right? Like there's some value to being there. So I think that's the context of. I like to point out it's voluntary. No, a player not being there is not like breaking any rules. It's not necessarily an indication of. I think there were times when Tom Brady didn't show up, and we knew what he did that the ensuing season. So I don't want to read too much into it, but I also think it's a notable point.
But it's just odd reading your notes column from yesterday when Romeo Doubs was interviewed. He didn't bring Booty up once, and he is significant in that Patriots offense, if nothing else. So he was conspicuous by his absence.
Yep. I think that's a fair takeaway by John. That was a takeaway that I had as well.
Okay, so Mike, we talk about A.J. Brown, and it seems like pretty much a foregone conclusion that he's going to be on this team. Bert was in here on Friday, and he was speculating that maybe fans in New England have a different. I've heard like there's a positive and a negative, that there's a different, that he's not a problem in the locker room that like people think as much as people think, but also maybe he's not the receiver that people think he is anymore.
So I would say probably depends on who you talk to, Fred. I talked to one scout. I asked him, I said, what do you think? He said, I didn't necessarily study every game last year, but one game I saw, like, it didn't look the same. And then I talked to someone else, and they said still one of the best in the league. And you look at the analytics, and he rates among the top 10 in the league. So probably depends on who you talk to. I think for the Patriots and where they're at in their building process here, like, I think the next 2 years you can probably bank on a high level of performance.
Okay, and so do you think he's a top 10 receiver in the league?
I would put him in the top 10. I probably would, Fred. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Take that.
Yep.
Well, Patriots get that.
Any surprises, disappointments after the schedule release for you, Mike?
So I think the biggest takeaway, Hardy, was 7 of the first 11 on the road, and 5 primetime games, 4 on the road. So, like, go back to last year, they won every road game. I know it was not the same level of schedule in terms of the opponents. Like, they're going to face harder opponents this year, it looks like. So can they have similar level of success? I'd be surprised if they win every game on the road this year, but they're going to be tested early on the road.
But you also understand the need for that. It's because of the concerts, and you, if anybody, is going to understand that the importance of the concert trumps any football game. So,
well, not Hardy. For me, it's once the training camp starts, the concert's sort of that's why right now I got to capitalize on this window, and maybe like if you guys want to come to Journey. They're coming around.
I heard Neil Schon on.
You know what? You're so full of it. You went and saw that guy down in Foxwoods on a Saturday night. Spent all day at Gillette Stadium. Who was it? Peter Cetera or something? And then went and saw him again at the Garden on Sunday night.
Yes, good point.
Brian Adams. No,
Brian Adams, right? So don't tell me that your concert going stops when the football season starts.
I didn't say it stops. It only happens if it works out. Like, you can't plan.
That didn't work out.
Like it worked out.
No, you should not have done that.
I couldn't plan on it.
But can I just bring it back to football if you two don't mind? I don't like how this has gone off on a tangent.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
support
not
that.
what this show is about.
No.
Right.
But you did have a quote in your newest piece when the NFL is talking about why the Patriots are opening against the Seahawks. And am I out of my mind, or does that seem not the most like the league is completely bullish on the success of the Patriots this season?
So I think, was it the quote from Hans Schroeder, the vice president? Yeah, he was saying, well, so why'd they pick the Patriots to open against the Seahawks? And I think the quote was like, the Super Bowl rematch will never have more relevance than week 1 of the next season. So I don't think it's as much as the league being bullish on the Patriots like this season, as much as maybe even the other side, like projecting a potential slide.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're not bullish. Is that I read it as I didn't want to be overly negative in my question. So I was trying to. It sounds like they were saying the Patriots aren't going to be very good, This is best served, or there's a chance the Patriots might not be very good. This game is best served early.
Yep, and I do think that was part of their mindset, but not necessarily that they thought they won't be very good, but just that if you wait till, call it week 8, and it's a 500 team, you sort of lose the residual interest of the Super Bowl rematch. So I think they wanted it sometime within the first month or so. I do think that was part of their mindset in making the schedule.
So they would think they would be mediocre. Okay, I get it. Okay, so they could be 500. So the point remains that the league it either thinks Seattle or New England could be at least mediocre come mid-season, come earlier, a little later in the season. Best get this game out early while it's hot is basically what he's saying.
I think that's part of it, but I think also look at the fact that they gave them primetime games, Fred, like, that Germany game. Well, Germany's not primetime, but the standalone game in Germany, and then coming off the bye, primetime Chargers.
Oh, they were in the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're getting a lot of. I just was that you included the quote in your piece.
Yeah.
That's how I read the quote. I thought it was an interesting quote. I see why you put it in. It's the only thing I'm asking you. Of course, the Patriots were in the Super Bowl. They deserve primetime games. Don't turn this into me killing the team. I think you included that quote because it sounds a little bit like, okay, they wanted to get this game over early while the getting's good. And I think that is the way you interpreted it as well. Thank you,
That's
Mike.
fair. Yes.
All of our women, all of our veterans that give us the freedom to be here tonight.
That's shocking. He gave a shout out to the veterans, did he? Did he play the national anthem?
No, he's going to play the harmonica to play us out of the segment.
No. All right, Mike Reese, read him and ESPN. There's still plenty of things going on with your Patriots. Thank you, Michael.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Shows, we love them. All right, there you go. We will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Fred. I'm not worried.
The Sports Hub.
Hey! We are Toucher and Hardy. I get to go to Groton again tonight. Or this afternoon.
When's first pitch?
4:30.
Ooh.
So does that mean you beat the traffic up there or not?
No, because the last time I went up there and it took an hour and 40 minutes, it was before 3 o'clock in the afternoon that I got onto 95, and it diverted me away from
the accident,
the Route
that's
9
right.
thing.
Yeah.
And Hardy saw that accident. He actually saw it happen. And there was an accident like right by, I would imagine the Pike or a little north of the Pike or before Waltham. And between Newton and Waltham, somewhere around there was an accident that messed things up pretty good. And it was just everything, because when they divert you, the everyone else is using the map things as well. Like, everyone is. And also, it doesn't take a scientist to go, maybe I shouldn't get on the freeway when there's a line of cars looking to get on the freeway.
Yeah, but at that point, you're kind of pot committed. I mean, what else are you going to do?
It diverted me out through neighborhoods up an exit, so I wasn't in the accident traffic for very long.
All right.
I don't know. I did what the thing said to do. I won't use Waze because Waze goes crazy. Again, I was coming back from Storyland one time, or maybe it was
Santa's Village.
No, I never went to Santa's Village, but we did go.
Good for you.
Santa's Village is nice.
It's further away than
Well,
Storyland.
we went up to North Conway because, it was an affiliate. No, we went up to North Conway before it was an affiliate, which was big money and worth every bit of aggravation. So I went up to North Conway because we did the train, the Santa train, the Polar Express. They had a better Polar Express. Newport had a Polar Express, but they barely tried. In this one, they took you to what was conceivably the North Pole. And there was all action there. So you drove up for that. But I was driving home on a Sunday. I've told this story before, and it had me going through residential neighborhoods in New Hampshire, through just suburbs and subdivisions. I was driving around kids playing baseball in the street, and this is when the Patriots were really good and the Rams were really bad, and they played Bill Belichick's press conference in its totality.
He talked about the punter, Johnny Hecker.
And he talked about Johnny Hecker, and it was the only station I could get. And I went, why do we play this? I'm like, this couldn't be more boring. This is worse than silence. So I turned it off. But he was just talking and babbling in that monotone, boring way of his about the punter. You knew there had to be some karma for doing that kind of stuff. Just being that just outwardly dismissive of everything to the point where you were just going to mumble for as long as possible about something no one cared about, as if you had some keen insight into the punter that no one else realized. I don't think that's true. I read a big thing in Sports Illustrated, an airplane once, about Johnny Hecker and how valuable he was. And I got it all out of Sports Illustrated in 3 pages because it was a long flight. And this was before the internet was on planes. So you
didn't need 15 minutes of Belichick talking about it. On top of that, you would reach your Johnny Hector saturation point.
Yeah, and if someone from Sports Illustrated decided to write an article about it, they thought it was curious enough. It could be described in a way that wasn't Belichick meandering. So my point was, he wasn't being overly clever like he thought he was, because there had already been a piece in a major magazine about it.
That brings to mind just something quickly here that John and I were talking about before you decided to saunter in this morning, Fred.
I apologize.
As he was at the PGA Championship on Friday, and he said something about the fans that were there. And a friend of mine texted this during the final round yesterday. He said, this is a really enjoyable final round, except for the fans. And I said, I hate to like state the obvious, but it's kind of ruining it for me. And the guys who still insist on yelling after the shots, forget about the fact that it's not funny. You didn't come up with it. You weren't the first one to say it's in the hole. You weren't the first one to say, give me back my son, which has nothing to do with anything when they're shouting Mel Gibson lines. And if there was one guy who was funny doing it, one time, and that was the guy, I think it was at the British, and it was some player who hit a ball, and the guy yelled, "I've abandoned my child!" Which had nothing to do with anything, but he sounded like Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. That one I laughed at. Everyone since then, I haven't laughed, and you all suck. And I blame the Philadelphia fans, who might be the worst people on earth.
They're up there.
I thought you said we were going to say John's glasses were creating a glare on the camera as he mulled about that one hole.
But these guys, like these people yelling during the golf tournament, you presumably like golf, so you're not there just to heckle golfers.
Yeah, but then you get to text your friends and you go, "Did you hear me?"
Yeah.
And then you're like a star. You're like a big star.
The worst.
All right, so we'll be back. Jaylen Brown is out speaking again, so of course we'll cover it and people will get mad. So we'll do that in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy.
8-1 loss to Atlanta yesterday. Brian Bayo didn't have an opener pitch in front of him in this one, and he allowed 7 runs and 8 hits while striking out exactly 1 hitter over 5 innings. We're 2 months into the season. Bayo's ERA is over 7. Red Sox are averaging about 3.5 runs a game for the season. They pitch Sonny Gray in Kansas City tonight. And basketball news, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander voted the NBA's MVP for a second straight year last night. The Celtics' Jaylen Brown finished 6th in the balloting. Last night, Cleveland blew out the Pistons in Detroit, 125-94 in Game 7. Cavaliers are through to the Eastern Conference Finals. They visit the Knicks for Game 1 tomorrow night. San Antonio visits Oklahoma City for Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals this evening. ESPN is reporting that Nashville is expected to be voted the host city for Super Bowl 64. That'll be in the year 2030. And in golf, Aaron Rai finished at 5 under 65 yesterday. He won the PGA Championship by 3 shots over John Rahm. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. Spring weather can be unpredictable, but your restoration partner shouldn't be. Our guys at Blue Sky are always ready to respond 24/7 and take care of everything from beginning to end. So visit goblusky.com. I'm John Wallick on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Deep 3, violent 2-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Is this Joe Satriani?
Prince.
Is this Steve I?
It's Yingve Malmsteen.
No, it's not Ingve. He would be flying. He
It's
doesn't.
Eric Johnson. Actually sounds like it does actually sound more like Eric Johnson.
It sounds like a guy who made a solo guitar album.
I wish it was Jack Johnson.
He surfed. So
He's got all the feels, man.
Yeah, he likes to do a sustainable tour with 8 tour buses. Yeah, real sustainable guy.
He's inventing. He invented opening a festival. Him and Ben Harper. Ben Harper exists to be the first artist on a festival.
I
bill.
do like Ben Harper though.
Fair enough, but you have to admit that he is
absolutely. He is at 4:30 in the afternoon at the latest
on a Friday.
Oh, that's
at the
late.
latest.
That's a Friday 4:30.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, no. He's noon on a Saturday.
Yeah, or a Sunday.
11:30.
Maybe 1 o'clock on a Sunday. But yeah,
No, you keep upping it. No, it was he plays first. That's what Ben Harper does.
Yes, if it's the weekend, it is AM.
Yes. That's. I mean, it's no shot at him. I'm sure he makes a good living doing it. But every festival I ever worked,
Did you ever see a band that was forced to play in the daytime because the bill was so stacked that they had no business playing while the sun was out?
I give you one right away. Interpol. Interpol played like the 2003, I want to say, BC and River Rave down at Great Woods, and they were on an outdoor stage at 2:30 in the afternoon, and it was disorienting to see those guys playing those songs all in black at 2:30 in the afternoon in the sun. It was weird.
Well, I saw Courtney Love's solo headline a day of Music Midtown, which again Creed played in front of 100,000 people at, and there might have been 8,000 people watching Courtney Love headline a Sunday, but that was a good crowd because they got to hear her complain about me on stage.
Yes.
Oh, did she do her solo acoustic cover of 13 by Big Star? Because she's the only one to recognize that song and its greatness.
No, I left, but I was told after I left that she had been complaining about me by name.
Oh, nice.
She was intoxicated. I don't know if you could have seen that coming. Her and her friend took some kid that interned for our station and took him on the bus. And I don't know what they did to him, but they took him. And I wasn't jealous. And Courtney Love for like a period of time was not an unattractive woman, but she was
just
so
the smell.
She was such a mess at this point that I wasn't even jealous of the kid. All right. Jaylen Brown has been talking. He loves to live stream. He's been doing so since before the season. You might not know about it on the account of that everyone's live streaming at all times. And so what happens with the live stream is that you get the dopamine release, I would imagine, of the people commenting in real time to the things you say, therefore making you feel very important. But in reality, no one in comparison to the people, the population of the earth is watching that. So the only time anyone hears about anything that you've had to say is when it is at all controversial. Such is the case with Jaylen Brown. Again, people get very upset. They think there is some motivation that is hidden in talking about what he has said. But all I will say is that he is a star player for a local team, and he's speaking openly. Again, I will grant you that I don't watch this stuff, and I don't doubt there's hours and hours of insightful pontification from the gentleman, but that is not what we're playing here. We're playing the moment that people are talking about. I don't know why that's hard for like 7 of you to understand, but you're a very loud 7 people, and you annoy me because the implication is that this is, quite honestly, terribly racist. And but it's not, you know, when you play Stephen A. Smith stuff and goof on it, or Ray Lewis stuff and goof on it, that's not. At least it's not according to the emails I get. But Jaylen Brown, there's a hidden racial dynamic, which I assure you, I've done an inventory of my soul, and I can assure you, this is only because he's a star player from the Celtics. And here is what live streaming gets you. Here is 2.5 minutes of who knows how long he was on.
Let's get into the good stuff. This is where all the clickbaiters is ready to clip.
Yes, so at least he understands, indeed. This is what will be pulled from your live stream. No one wants to hear you talk for this long, except for the people watching, so here's the clickbait.
Let's get into the good stuff. Last week, I had an exchange online with Stephen A., where he was vocal about what he thought I needed to do, and he also said some other things. So,
Jason Tatum hasn't appeared on Jaylen Brown's program.
Okay.
You know where Jason Tatum was? Right here on First Take.
Let's pause right there. What type of journalism is this? Jason Tatum hasn't been on my stream, and this is what we're talking about on First Take. What if JT just don't like being somewhere in an uncontrolled environment? People use the term clown. It synchronizes with someone like Stephen A. Smith.
Now, this is Stephen A. Smith's worst nightmare. Someone that he covers attacking him for something he said.
I know. This
isn't what he stays awake at night praying for.
I know.
No.
Well played, Jaylen. He said something innocuous that you took offense to. This is horrible for Stephen A. Smith.
Something that Stephen A. Smith will in no way get in trouble for, yet you're bringing attention to it.
Yeah, well done.
Oh.
Well, this is a man that obviously understands the world of media. And that Jason Tatum's can't handle being on something as unencumbered and unfettered as a live stream.
And then Stephen A. Smith hears that and says,
all of y'all got it going on.
Yeah,
that's right. This is a man that lives in a green screen prison. Stephen A. Smith is on radio, television, or the internet 23 hours a day. And some of that is just a video of him sleeping.
Because this is what you're using your platform for. What are you talking about?
You're saying it's the year that Jason Tatum was down with an Achilles tear is your favorite year? The year that Jason Tatum had to sit out.
Can y'all hear it?
I turned it up. I can hear it already.
I can hear it. I can hear it twice with the echo.
I can hear it twice because he's at a carnival dunk tank, apparently.
No, this is where this is just Jaylen Brown. He has a guy working for him, apparently, which is interesting. He sets up all the equipment, and he's decided to play it over a speaker so the microphone that they're using can pick it up. Well done. He's paying the guy good money for that. Couldn't figure out how to just get it on the stream. Okay.
Can y'all hear it?
I turned it up. I can hear it already. Pull.
That's your favorite year? The year?
I think they might be able to hear it better now.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Yeah, why go on First Take when you can do this?
Well, that's a controlled environment. First Take.
Yeah, this is. You don't get all these, mishaps when you're in a controlled environment.
He's afraid to go on a show that has lots of technological problems.
Right.
Oh.
Fearing that it might look him. This DIY nature of it, the punk rock nature of the Jaylen Brown stream, doesn't conform to Jason's buttoned-up attitude.
Can y'all hear
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's your favorite year? The year?
I think they might be able to hear it better now.
Pull this up a little bit.
Which one?
Head top, yeah. Go.
Yeah, man.
Stop.
They're acting very cool for something that's going completely wrong.
Yeah, maybe
They're above the mishaps that are happening to them.
Pull this up a little bit.
Which one?
Head top, yeah. Go this way.
Does that annoy anyone else that they're talking like that?
No, I think it's cool.
Like this non-disturbed, like mellowness is not fitting with the mishap that's going on.
Nope, I like
Just talk like normal.
It's like ASMR for me. Keep it rolling.
I'll tell you what's ASMR. Don't step on my toes. I don't start telling you what's going on in golf tournaments. I'll tell you what relaxing ASMR has been up to. His sister died.
Oh, it's terrible.
No, it's not good. I'm just telling you I know that.
Oh.
Which one?
Head top, yeah. Go this way. Keep going. Try there. Yeah.
So this is a narrative that he's creating. This isn't journalism. This is him.
Yeah, as opposed to you, which is not journalism.
Making his own opinion and formalizing it about what I had to say.
Yes, that's his job. I don't quite understand what you're saying. He's not a New York Times reporter.
It's not Edward R.
Iran.
Murrow. He's a
talking head.
He's a commentator.
He's a guy on a show called Takes. Take is in the title of all these ESPN shows. It's Take. Take. First take. Take. The idea is that you come in with formulated opinions that people will disagree with, essentially. You don't want them agreeing.
Right.
So Stephen A. Smith is popular because the formula is to hear things, devise a thought upon them, whether it's true or untrue, and then pontificate away. And you reacting to it is exactly what it's engineered to do. You're furthering the narrative.
On his platform, and this is why, respectfully, a lot of people say Stephen A. Because this is the type of stuff he does, and then he doesn't recognize it. But he's creating a narrative saying that the reason why I'm saying that I had my favorite season is because selfishly I had a best performing year. Not the fact that we outproved expectations, not the fact that everybody expected us to be nothing and we had to fight and we showed up.
See, that you're a Celtics fan, John.
Yep.
That's not great. I mean, whatever with the Tatum thing, and that's all here or there. I can't say what he's thinking, but I can say it doesn't matter that you lost in the first round of the playoffs. This is no hot take. All right, if I'm a Celtics fan, I'm a little annoyed considering this team won a championship.
As a Celtics fan, I'm disappointed, very disappointed with the way the season ended. And to hear Jaylen Brown say this, regardless of whatever spin he is now putting on it afterwards, I'm a little disappointed that he said that too.
So take the team that lost last night, the Pistons. And after the game, someone with the Pistons said, look, we're not overly disappointed. This is a process. Okay, fair enough. You haven't won anything. This was an evolution in you. You made it to another round.
It's a
you
step
won
forward.
a round.
Sure, you came from a different place than the Celtics came
so
from. Yes.
Brown's 29. He's part of a core that has won a championship. That core was back together for the playoffs, and they were upset by a huge underdog in embarrassing fashion.
An underdog that went out and got their asses kicked the very next round.
And when John says asses kicked, if you weren't paying attention, he's not just referring to the sweep. He's referring to the way those games were played.
They lost by 32 of those 4 games, I think.
If you were going to define an ass kicking, the Sixers Knicks series would be number 1 of an ass kicking.
And we competed every single day, and we had to fight for every victory. Like, he maybe now doesn't understand that because maybe he's never had to fight for nothing in his life. Maybe
no. Stephen A's fought for nothing. He got the job at ESPN because of his dad. What are you talking about?
I don't.
He's had to fight for everything.
Athletes.
The guy's constantly fighting for himself. Stephen A. Smith wasn't handed anything.
Athletes in general should know or do know.
In fact,
that
you were handed more than him because you were born into that body. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, ugly-looking guy. He wasn't gonna. They weren't gonna put him on TV because of his looks. And look, I'm ugly too, and I'm not on TV. They looked at me and they said, "Get off." Stephen A. Smith's not a handsome man. He's not on there because he's cute. He's on there because he had to fight for everything that he got. Come on.
I don't understand what the end game of this is. It's a losing battle. You're going to lose in this arena. You're going to lose to Stephen A. Smith 10 times out of 10. But you're feeding him.
There's two things, John. A, if it's funny, then okay. Or B, if you're going for the jugular in a way that's almost unhinged. These are the two ways that I think that you might win.
Yeah.
Humor or unhinged attack. This is just light bitching, which I don't care for.
Anytime adversity is hit, he's rolled over or he's gave in.
How is that possible? He's under constant adversity. LeBron James tried to get him fired. LeBron James worked behind the scenes to get Stephen A. Smith fired. That's true. This is crazy. He's had to deal with a tremendous amount of adversity. Just because he doesn't play on a basketball team that lost in the first round doesn't mean he's worthless and has not had to fight for anything. I mean, there's guys that grew up in horrible poverty that got a job driving a bus, that they could support a family that overcame incredible things. You don't have to be an athlete.
That doesn't compare to the adversity you face when you somehow find yourself forced into a Game 7 in a series that you were supposed to win. That's a different type of adversity.
I don't mean to be Pollyannic here, but talk to a lady that's going to community college with 3 kids and working nights. I mean, there's different adversities, Mr. Brown. You don't have to have... yeah, see?
I like that.
So I used a woman and I used
you white knighted that a little bit.
Very, very impressive sitting over here watching.
Kaboom.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Thank you. See? Now I'm above reproach because I used that example.
That's right.
Now I'm the hero of this story. Thank you for noticing that.
Smart.
This is what Stephen A. is using his platform for. Let's see what he finishes with.
First order of business is that he needs to be quiet and Big.
Let me stop right there. Did he just say I needed to be quiet? Be quiet for who? Man, Stephen A. Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C.
Oh, I apologize. It does get funny.
My offer still stands. You want me to be quiet and stop streaming? Well, I want you to be quiet and get off these networks because you're not using your platform to do real journalism.
Well, the problem is he's making millions and millions and millions of dollars doing that, so he would be taking quite a cash hit. You make millions and millions of dollars playing basketball. He's not saying you to be quiet. See, what Jaylen Brown is taking that as to mean is don't pontificate upon the issues.
Don't do your job.
What Jaylen Brown is saying is he's saying don't just shut up and dribble, which is obviously not what Stephen A. Smith is saying. He's saying don't talk after you lose in the first round is what he's saying.
And say things that sound like either excuse making or trying to paint the season in a different type of light, because really all Celtics fans want to hear right now is some kind of shared disappointment in the way things ended, and maybe trying to understand how they don't want to. It's not great for Celtics fans to hear that this was your favorite season.
Yeah, and also
they may not dig that.
With the way politicians and the media is speaking in general, it's a little hard to have the pitchforks out for Stephen A. Smith making fun of Jaylen Brown. There's much bigger things happening on this planet as we speak. Dan, go ahead.
Here we go again. We're attacking people because of the color of their skin. I mean, just because Eddie Trunk is what? Wait, Jaylen Brown. Damn it. Who are you talking about?
All right. Thank you, Dan. I had to address that head on. People don't like. There's some people they do not like when you talk to Jaylen Brown. They think that it's off the table.
It's just mystifying. Maybe he's done this all the time after every season and we didn't know about it, but he needs to stop. He needs to stop doing this.
Well, he doesn't have to do anything. He's going to keep his job.
No, I know this, but
it doesn't he's not doing himself any favors if he doesn't want things like Stephen A. Smith's talking. And let's be honest, objectively, that was not overly clever. Anything he just said, it just sounds
the Stephen
like,
A, Stephen B, Stephen C thing,
right?
That struck a nerve, and
as someone who complains for a living, I give that a D+ complaining. Now,
one thing if he had this narrative that he had to get out there, and he had to, he had so much to get off his chest, but now he's picking like lame fights with Stephen A. Smith over non-issues. I don't think that needs to be said. I don't think Jaylen Brown thinks it needs to be said. I think Jaylen Brown is operating from a standpoint of he somehow has content that he needs to fill. Like there's some time that he needs to.
Fair enough.
And that's not the case,
right?
Jaylen.
Like he has an obligation to do this stream.
No, I don't think you are obligated to do that.
And if you want to play audio from media people and make fun of it, I can come and sit on and help. I made a whole living doing it.
Can y'all hear?
Yeah. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Our email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. You can email us. You can go to 985thesportshub.com to find out how to do that. You can go to social media at Toucher and Hardy on Instagram and Twitter, at Hardy985 on both of those, and at Fred Toucher on Instagram. This is from Heath. Wallick's dumb, boring trips. With all this discussion about Wallick's lame trips, John goes to suburban Philadelphia all the time. Is there any like body of water or anything around there that you can use?
Not that I can use, no.
Okay.
No.
Is there any like...
the Atlantic Ocean doesn't count, right? So, no, I can't use. There is no.
How far are you from the Atlantic Ocean?
20 miles.
Yeah, so you're not by the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying Natick's by the Atlantic Ocean.
It's very similar, yes.
Yeah. It sounded, that geographical trip doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but there's, like, why are there homes in that area? Is there any reason?
No.
Topography-wise?
No.
Okay.
No, it's really eye-opening when we're driving out this route called 422 to get to her mother's place, and she would say to me, when I was a kid, this road didn't exist. There was nothing out here. So all of this has been recently developed in the last 20 to 25 years.
So it's the house that your wife grew up in?
No. She doesn't live there anymore, but mother moved out of that house.
Oh, okay.
So she moved further west to be closer to my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, who have homes out there.
Oh, okay. So your wife didn't grow up in the house that you go to
now?
Okay,
no.
now. Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. So it says, with all this discussion about Wallick's lame trips, I've been struggling to think of the most boring trips my parents dragged me on. Here's what I've come up with. Number one, driving to the Grand Canyon in August in a minivan with no AC. The Grand Canyon seems to be a bold thing to drive to, in that it seems that, an hour of wonder would be enough with the Grand Canyon. I don't doubt that it's an incredible experience to stand in front of it. I do doubt the relevancy of going down into it.
So after college, before I was only 10 in bar, and I didn't have my first radio job yet. I drove out to L.A. because I went to school with a couple of people who lived out there, and they're like, you should come to L.A. I'm like, all right, I got nothing else to do. So I packed up and I started driving west. And I stopped at the Meteor Crater in Arizona by myself.
Hell yeah, I've been there. Rules.
Of course you have. And then I went to the Grand Canyon. I'm like, well, I'm pretty close. All you got to do is head north off of 40 here and get there for a while. And as you said, Fred, it's like, it's indescribable when it comes to the actual, presence of being there. But it's an hour.
Yeah.
And you look at it, and after a while, unless you're going to hike down and, do some stuff, which I was by myself. I had no money. I went there and I looked at it for an hour and then I left.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd need to go down into it. I'm like, I think that seeing it would be, this is beautiful, but I don't know if I'd have to go into it. 2, driving to Western New York for my grandmother's funeral. Or number 3, driving to Gettysburg, PA to the unsettling, boring Civil War drive-through narrated tour by tape. Well, when I was a kid, my mom wouldn't fly. Now, she got over that late or in middle school. She got over not flying. So I had one set of grandparents that lived in, like I said, central Long Island in Kings Park, which was no fun. And then my grandmother had retired to Lakeland, Florida, which is just south of Ocala. And again, you want to talk about not being by the water. And I've just had an argument about this with my parents. They said, well, there was a lake. And I'm like, not that one that people went in. It was a lake that was walked around. It's like the Brookline Reservoir. There was there was water sitting there, but it wasn't stuff you went into. There wasn't boats on it.
Yeah, it's something pretty to look at.
Yeah.
All right.
Florida Southern was there, and that were Frank Lloyd Wright stuff. But I mean, my goodness.
This is from Richie from Weston. Hey, Wallick, I took last Friday off from work, too. I had a stomach virus, and I spent 3 days in the bathroom. Stop, period. Next paragraph. And I still had a much better weekend than you did.
No.
No, I don't like that.
Doesn't seem right. That seems kind of mean. Did you see a great golf tournament? I don't think so. Did you see the best in the world do something? No.
Ben said, with regard to your trip to London, what's wrong with Wallick? I gasped when he said he was going to London to see Wimbledon, but won't buy the tickets and will instead go wait in a long line. Yeah, it makes no sense, John.
It's not to go to London to see Wimbledon, not just that. It's 1 day out of 7 or 8, I think it's 8, we're going to spend there.
Are you going to be disappointed if you're in London and you don't go to Wimbledon?
No. I won't be disappointed.
All right.
No, they'll be happy that they got up early, took the tube down there, and stood in line for 3 hours not to go in.
In 95-degree heat, don't forget.
I don't know if it's going to be that hot.
July in London? Yeah.
It was, the one time I was there, it was 4 years ago this summer, and it was 90 degrees.
Yes.
It was...
Well, the thing that's cool is that Wimbledon is, and I'm not being sarcastic, is Wimbledon is like right there. Like, because I went to a concert and we took the, whatever, I don't want to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about.
The tube.
The train.
You took the tube. Yes.
Or the underground. And
mind the gap.
And I was like, oh, wow, Wimbledon's like the next stop. And we were like in the middle of London. I thought that was kind of cool. So then I got into my head that I'd go to Wimbledon. And then I looked, and it was a huge pain in the ass, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. So good on you for for going without even having a plan. This is from Thomas. Fred, maybe more of a topic for shooting the breeze. Well, what is email except for written shooting the breeze? But someone with an encyclopedic knowledge of sitcoms of the late 90s, early aughts, how many times have you seen the Bret Michaels episode of Yes, Dear? And where does that rank among the golden age of television episodes from that era? Is it third behind The Contest and Pine Barrens? Please advise. Love you guys. Tom in Florida. Now, you guys are, obviously, John, you're familiar with Yes, Dear because of the local connection.
Yes. I am familiar. Now, did I watch a lot of episodes? No.
Okay,
but I am familiar with it.
Right, and you'll remember Boston Common was the show that the Southern gentleman had starred in before his turn on Yes, Dear.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
So you thought I was going to go O'Malley on
I did.
the local
I thought
guy,
you were totally going
but I didn't do
O'Malley.
that.
All
I
right.
went, you remember Boston Common,
Yes.
which had the little Southern guy on
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
who then became the lead fastidious gentleman
He
on
was the
Yes,
straight
Dear.
guy to Mike O'Malley's, like,
But on Boston
guy.
Common, he was anything but straight. He was the comic relief on that show, if you'll recall. So he was a versatile actor who you don't hear a lot from anymore. I loosely remember the Bret Michaels episode, not entirely. There was nothing, sadly enough, to masturbate to on that show. So I found myself in a little bit of a quandary when that would come on.
Last week, we implored Nicholas to apply for the fart monitoring study at the University of Maryland, only to find out they had received their acceptable number of applicants. This from Giuliano?
Sure.
I don't know. I'll just say your name. I just got around to last Tuesday's show when you talked about the fart monitor at the University of Maryland. I am a professor at the University of Maryland. I checked. I don't know the professor of the fart studies, but I'm sure he's a friend of a friend. Let me know if there's anything you need on the ground in College Park.
Yes, I would like to have the guy who's doing the fart study on the show, and I'm not kidding. Yes, if we could email that gentleman and get the information and get that guy on the show, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
Send it along.
And then I believe that if we could just talk to him and reason with him, he'd let Nick in the study. And then every day we could go over Nick's results. And that would be fun for Nick.
Great.
And then imagine when Luigi and Clyde, your kids, get older, and you then can share with them all your fart data. You can maybe put it in a book when they graduate high school.
Cackamungus.
You know,
What are the names again?
Luigi and Clyde.
I see.
Because I remember with the first one, we were calling him Luigi, and then I don't even remember anything about the second one.
Woof, woof.
Let alone the name. But in fairness, he's a baby. I don't know, Nick's not mentioning him by name.
Yeah.
Well, the name is
Science Concert?
That's the baby's name.
Thank you.
It took him a while. You remember it was a couple of days
Well, they were
before
going to name the
named
baby Milo. That I remember. Because that would have been like oh my God. That would have been very strange.
Yeah.
Stalkerish.
Well, I mean, it's like you named him after your hero. This kid.
He wasn't so awesome today, though.
Finally, we were discussing the late Julio Lugo earlier. Brendan emailed to say, I was playing golf with a buddy who casually mentioned that his buddy who worked for the Red Sox said Julio Lugo would walk around the locker room naked because he had a huge one. No idea how this came up, but it's all I ever think of when I hear that name.
Which is very odd for a professional locker room. If you recall, when we first started the Sports Hub, Crash got a pass to the Patriots locker room and then was told never to come back.
Oh, they didn't like that at all.
Because
no.
he was interviewing someone. Who was the linebacker that walked by? He was the Ravens guy that was on the team.
Adalius Thomas.
So Crash was. This is actually pretty funny. If I heard the show and you were like, who are these losers on this sports talk station? And you heard that might win me over. Because Crash was interviewing someone else, and then he started cracking up because Adalius Thomas walked by, and he started cracking up, and we're like, what were you cracking up about? And he's like, Adalius Thomas was huge. And, like, that whole conversation was so unprofessional that I think I might have, and you know, we didn't.
It was endearing in a way.
Like, we knew it was incredibly, I was under no misconception that was in any way professional. Now, the Patriots had to say something, obviously. I mean, you got to say something. I don't think they were legitimately mad, but I think that, decency says you at least have to reach out and say, don't do that again. And maybe he doesn't come back in the locker room, which was crushing. Because no one from any show I've ever been affiliated with again has ever wanted a pass to go into the locker room. Mm-hmm. It's not fun. All right. We'll be back. It's not a middle-aged man's dream to go into a NFL locker room. Being on the field's cool before the game. Don't need to be in the locker room. No. All right. We'll be back to steer the ship to port in these rocky seas. We'll have that for you after the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and, you know, John went to the PGA Championship in loosely suburban Philadelphia, more like rural Pennsylvania. And Hardy did one of his 3 live 98.5 The Golf Club shows this weekend. So in honor of that, I will replay a brief call that Hardy took from one fake Blind Scott.
Welcome back to the Sports Hub Golf Club. Let's get to the phones here. No, it's not Fred Toucher. It's someone even better. Fake Blind Scott joining us now on the program this morning. Fake Blind Scott. What's happening this morning?
Good morning, Hardy. I heard you talking about golf, and that reminded me of the time Taylor Gooch threw a punch at me at the Carnoustie Golf and Jumanji Club, right? He was having dinner with a bunch of his golf buddies, and all I did was pat Nick Faldo on his head and tell him what a bunch of whimsical creatures the English are. And all of a sudden, it's sir, please this, and hey, these credentials are forged that, and release Rob Oppenheim's nipples at once, you know? But luckily for me, Jeremiah Xanadu, the private first-class sandskeeper of Kernwood Golf Club and Dock Art Santorium, was there, and he smoothed everything over for me. Yeah. Hey, listen, well, I got you here. Do you have Fred's door code handy? He changed it again and forgot to tell me the new one, right? Probably because of all the women he gets now.
Right.
He gets more action than an Alabama donkey, right? He is buried in it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess I'll just wait down here until Fred wakes up.
Okay.
I got the Sunday funnies here, but Beetle Bailey was omitted.
Okay.
Oh, good. The cops are here to get me into Fred's.
Thank you, Blind Scott.
All right, there you go.
He's buried in that thing.
Just so many Easter eggs in that
Blaze
one.
Bailey.
Yeah, we learned that Adam figured out that he mentioned Beetle Bailey because of Blaze Bailey being omitted, along with Ripper
It's a
Owens.
great bit. Yeah, well, I'm not happy about
He's buried in it.
That's right. Buried in it was another one.
I was living there.
I just like that finally people are. It's becoming part of the zeitgeist. Eddie Trunks railing against the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's really sticking it to those fat cats, and I enjoy that.
Fred, just one final thing here today is you have been very unsupportive of my desire to try Adderall and get on this. It turns out that Australians have been substituting their ADHD medication with cocaine due to the scarcity of the proper ADHD medication. So,
but they're so much different.
Well, apparently,
they're one molecule off or something, and one chemical piece away from each other.
Apparently, the Australians very much into cocaine. Anyway, nearly 5% of people aged 14 and over have used cocaine in the previous 12 months.
Whoa. Say it again.
5% of Australians aged 14 and over have done cocaine in the last 12 months.
In what publication is that?
EDMtunes.com.
Oh, of course.
I'm calling to question that study.
Oh, let him have his fun. It's fine.
Cocaine's not legal
and that's
in
according to
Australia,
the Herald Sun.
Boy, that is a tremendous amount of cocaine use.
A million Australians.
Do you think in 1972 the U.S. cocaine usage was 5%?
According to the movie Blow, it was.
Because
everybody was doing it.
At any point, that would have been it. Because they really didn't think that cocaine was addictive. They that's not a joke. They didn't believe that. They believed that it wasn't addictive. So people were like, wow, this is great. That we're getting all this is a tremendous. What luck. And then the government stepped in and ruined it. Yeah. So 5% seems really high in the last year. Woof. I've never done cocaine. And if I haven't done it, no one's done it. Hardy's lying. All right. That'll do it for us.
I'm just saying, I try the Adderall, you try the cocaine.
I like me trying the cocaine more than I like you trying the Adderall.
Agreed.
All right. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow.